David Dimitri Live in Color, OWU, and David Dimitri on Instagram. That's where we're going live. We are already going live. Let me see. Hold on. So I'm gonna start, but I'm gonna get up. I have to grab something, and I'm gonna come back and get the introducing. In fact, what I'll do right now is stay still long enough. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we should be going live here, and we should be going live here. Boom. Excellent connection. I know the second one's gonna say that it's not. Oh, they're both excellent connection. Good. Give thanks. It's love every time. We are here representing the United States of, excuse me, everybody. We are representing our beloved country and nation state, the United States of America. That's right. A lot of you other countries and a lot of the other countries of our planet actually form their names when they say states and the way they organize their states. Excuse me, everybody. Just starting off, that's not a good way to start off, but that's life. A lot of nation states and countries started off their names, their programs, their polity, and the structure of the United States of America. Even some countries there in Europe. Some nation states in Europe evolved from the United States of America. But we got to give props to Sweden, because Sweden heralded that modern administrative state. Oh yeah, Sweden did. I'm David Dimitri, and you're live in color. We have come here with some true American statesmen. That's right, statesmen. Now, the sound that you hear, the sud sound like there's nothing wrong with the equipment. That's a fan. Because we have to have a fan, because I moved too quick and I purchased a R10, which doesn't have an internal fan within the camera. So sadly, that little sound you're hearing, excuse it. It won't always be there, because through your donations and through hard work, we will have the more up-to-date R60, is it? David Dimitri live in color. And we are here for you. We're live streaming from Instagram. Oh yeah, having a good time. We're live streaming from youtube.com at David Dimitri live in color. And we're live streaming from YouTube at OWU, the Original World Union. You get on OWU, and if you get on the OWU Original World Union YouTube, or the David Dimitri live in color YouTube, subscribe and get your prizes. Always comment here on Instagram, and to let you know, the something was wrong with Facebook. They even sent a message when I was trying to log in saying that they're pretty much, it sounded like they were saying they're overloaded with activity and it temporary, but I didn't have the time to go figure out whether it was going to come back online. I'm pretty sure it did, but we're on Meta still, right here on Instagram. I'm David Dimitri. You're live in color. We're live in color. We're here with Nadim Mustafa, a true living statesman, a legend in himself. We are here with the true statesman, Nadim Mustafa, from right here in California. We're broadcasting from California. You see the call-in number 909-446-2388. We're about to discuss in a debative fashion the presidential elections, because the debate is coming up between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Which will be the president? This is the question that we all desire and we will be experiencing very soon, happily or unhappily. Only one could cross that finish line before the other. But you know what? It's all for one United States of America. And that's what we do this for. And that's why we're doing this. Going to have a great discussion. Again, Nadeem Mustafa, introduce yourself. Tell me a little about yourself.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Nadeem Mustafa, and I live here in the Southern California area, and I'm glad to be here to go ahead and share some ideas and concepts and just to have a good conversation with all of you guys. And I'm going to encourage you guys to call in if you have any questions. Call in with your questions, and let's at least have a good discussion and go ahead and go over the facts. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over to Wade.
Hi, my name is Wade Morris. I'm a pastor, coached high school, military for almost 18 years, been a resident of Southern California all my life.
That's awesome. And so what city and area are you from again?
South Central Watts, Compton,
Southern California, Los Angeles area. Okay, so we have two legends. You have to understand these are statesmen. You know, they live their life right. They earned a living. And we have one gentleman that's a longtime veteran, another gentleman that's a real estate, etc. You have to understand these men have been voting all their lives. They've been part of the political process. They've been part of the administrative state all their lives. One was even in the military. You have to understand this level. And another gentleman here, parents, or at least one of your parents was an immigrant, correct?
Both parents.
Both parents. And for your information, he is actually a Republican. So this is what's great about this conversation. When you call in, have your I's dotted and your T's crossed, because these gentlemen know their stuff. So let's get this going. Let's get this started. Okay, I have an agenda. I really wanted them to come off, even though I'm a world's debate champion. A lot of you don't know. I have to put it out there who I am. I'm David Demetrius Johnson, known as David Demetrius, an entertainment marker and name for decades. I am gonna turn the light up more. Right now, I just left the lights like that for a reason. We're going to go into some questions, but I want each to tell us who they want to become president at this point and why. Starting with Wade. Who do you want to be president out of Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, and why?
I want Kamala Harris to be president of the United States. I disagree with her on many of her policies, but she is a statesman of the first kind. She seems to have a very good heart. She's been in politics almost all of her adult life. Her education is formative and impressive. She's an intelligent person, and she's moral.
She's moral.
Moral. What I mean is, some politicians say what the people want them to say.
Yeah.
And in following her and understanding who she is over the years, because I've researched her, she says what she says what she means, and she means what she says. I think that she's sincerely wrong on a lot of topics, but the thing is, she's sincere.
Okay. She's sincere. So, sincerity, and I would say in administrative state, she has proved herself as being a strong worker, employee, etc. Of the state. She never took a break off. She worked hard, and that's part of why she's there. I have a lot that I personally, I just can't do it with her. But I feel the same as Trump. And the only reason I'm saying that because I'm hosting this, I'm gonna be getting up out this seat, and Nadine will be telling his representative who he's representative, which is pretty obvious, and why. The important was why. But I would like you to repeat your why one more time, because I'm gonna take a note of it.
Okay.
Because I have some questions coming later on in the talk.
First of all, her track record. Everyone out here doesn't agree with her track record as far as being, she was a DA in LA, and they feel that some of her convictions were unfair, but I'm sure every DA suffers that same type of stigma. She was voted Attorney General of the United California. Then she was voted a senator. She is a highly educated person that it just seems to me, and in my opinion, that she is honest, and I don't want to say forthright, but she's honest and believes what she says, and she's gonna stand behind what she believes.
Okay.
I truly believe that she is for the workers. I truly believe that she is for the middle class. I truly believe that she is for cutting prices in medication, not only for older adults, but for middle class adults, for poor adults, young, old. I truly believe that she is for the people, because I looked at her parents' background, her father's background, and they taught her to commit her life to people and to the needs of people.
It's more like a down to earth
very down. She's
motivation
very
that you like about her.
One of the things that she did, she had to choose between being Indian and African American, because her father is African American, her mother is Indian. Now, this is not why I like her, but she made up in her mind to be an African American. She joined African American groups in college, in the Congress, when she was in the Congress.
Yes, sir.
She stayed true to what she believed she was, but the important thing is she made a decision. Now, if she would have made the decision to be an Indian, fine. Bless the Lord. Her mother's Indian. But she made the decision to be African American and to represent herself as an African American. And I really respect her for that. Not because I'm an African American, but because she took a stance on a population of a people that is looked at as less.
Okay. And I understand
I like
that.
that.
I understand
I like
That's
that.
Noble. That's noble on her
I
part.
do believe
So
that.
you believe that
Yeah.
because Barack Obama and Michelle Obama actually met at Harvard. They grew up, and Michelle Obama especially. She grew up as a total African American, like you and me.
Yeah, we're talking about Harris.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about Michelle Obama.
Michelle?
And she chose to go to Harvard,
Right.
and not to Howard or any traditional black country university. And so did Barack Obama,
Yeah.
which I admire. So I can understand what you mean by her, the importance of her going
she
to
went
Howard.
Yeah, that was cool.
She didn't have to.
Of course not.
And so that I really don't understand why she would have did that. But I have done an externship at Howard, and so that's where I met Michelle Obama once, and that's where I met. And I got to speak about. This is after I studied and taught abroad. After I studied and taught abroad, I met Michelle Obama and at Howard, and I ended up speaking about how my studies abroad, because the reason why Michelle Obama was there was to talk about and encourage the young students there to study in China. So they had some young, believe it or not, they had some young Americans there that were at Howard, students, and they were on stage and they got to speak in Mandarin.
Wow.
And then guess who Michelle Obama was there with, and I met them too. The wife of the president of China. I met her, and he's still the president, and she's still the first lady of China.
Okay.
You know, and so, and then guess who else was there? Dick Gregory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Dick Gregory was sitting up front. So I had raised my hand, and my friends that were with me, they were like, he studied abroad. And I said, Africa, everybody should stand up clapping. So she called me up there, and I ended up speaking. So that's how down to earth Howard is. And so that's what I wanted to say. I do recognize that about her, Kamala Harris. But great, and I'm glad you didn't speak about policy yet.
No,
because I didn't really want you to.
Not yet.
I wanted you guys to talk about, and you got the right to speak up on policy. It's your turn. He had a good 5-7 minutes. You got good 10 minutes. If you have a few more things you want to say.
No, I'm good.
All right.
All right.
So now, Nadeem Mustafa, everyone.
All right. So again, I'm Nadeem, and it was actually very interesting because I think I did some notes here, and I think I'm going to cover some of the same things, but yet it's a little bit on the opposite side. So it's kind of interesting because we didn't share our notes or didn't we talk or anything, but I think we're going to cover a lot of the same things. And just one of the interesting things that I think there's so much to cover and so many things to do that, I don't know how much stuff we're going to be able to cover because it's just overwhelmung.
We got to get 2 hours.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm here. So, as long as Wade, you're ready to hang out, I'm game too. But anyways, so let's go ahead and get started. I think again, I'm going to do just the beginning and not go too much into policy. But I did think it was interesting some of the things that Wade said. But I'm going to start out. Of course, I think you guys can all figure out that I am voting for Donald Trump, and the reason why, I said, first of all, I said, Donald Trump has an absolute proven track record with 4 years as a president, and he is also a proven businessman, and that's a very unique thing that we can actually have 2 different candidates that have both been basically in the presidency and the vice presidency, so they've been there up at the top, and it allows us to be able to compare the performance of the two different parties. Now, based on that, with Trump, we've always seen it's obvious that a businessman, I feel, can run a country, better than a lifelong politician or somebody that has never even run a business nor had any employees. So, and again, we just have the opportunity to see the differences between those 2 people, or those 2 parties. And I'm not going to get too much into it right now, but we have seen what's happened in the last 3.5 years with the Biden-Harris campaign. Now, here's where I thought it was funny, because I say some people, and I'm going to include in this some people my mother, okay? Because my mother, she doesn't like the way that Trump talks or how he says things. She says he's rude, he's this and that, and she says, oh, he talks like a pig, or whatever it is. But she never liked that. Although I do have to disclose, she did vote for Trump, so at least she did do that. But she didn't like the way that he talks. And however, I feel that that's actually a good thing. Because Trump, he's a straight shooter. He says the things and he tells you what he's going to do, and then he does it. He doesn't beat around the bush. He's not afraid to do any interview, with the media, even the most hostile media. It doesn't matter who it is. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and even a couple of weeks ago, he went to the National Association of Black Journalists conference in Chicago, and obviously he knew it was going to be a hostile environment, but he didn't shy away from it. He confronted it. He was not scared, and he went right up there, and I think handled it pretty good. Now, Kamala was also supposed to be at the Black Journalist Conference there in Chicago also, and surprisingly or disappointedly, if that's the correct word, she didn't show up. And I'm sure it would have been a pretty easy interview for her because she has the media on her side that are really supporting her on that. In addition to that, Kamala has done absolutely zero live interviews by herself with any media outlet. The CNN one that she did was 17 minutes, and it was pre-recorded, and she had Waltz there next to her, which I call the little, support puppy next to her because she didn't do it alone. And again, it wasn't a live interview. And Trump does it on a daily basis, multiple times a day, always answers questions. In addition to that, Kamala was boarding her airplane, I guess yesterday, and she had earpods on and she ignored everybody's question and just does not take any questions at all. So I mean, my question to you is, what is she scared of? Why won't she confront the American people? And again, I'm going to talk a lot more about policy and different things later, but I did want to touch a couple of things that Wade said. I wanted to touch that. Wade, you said that Kamala has heart and that she's moral and that she's sincere. Okay? I'm going to start out with heart. A person that you say that has heart, that incarcerated thousands and thousands of people, and probably 80-90% of these were black Americans, and put them in prison for drug use or for marijuana use, and then she joked on a radio interview that she also used marijuana. And you say that's moral and that's heart. In addition to that, there was one person that was on death row, and she had the evidence to get him released, and she didn't do it.
Okay, so we have two.
Okay, and I'm going to go again. Somebody who knows that there's an innocent party in prison, that she put them there and leaves them there, that's not heart to me. That's not moral to me. Okay? Now, going back to moral, I'm not going to go here, but I'm just going to mention it just to mention it. You're talking about moral and all these things, and again, it doesn't matter to me, but you do have the whole situation that happened with Willie Brown. Again, I'm not going to get into it because everybody, I think, understands what I'm talking about and how that happened. But I'm just responding back to the heart and the moral and the sincerity. Now, the track record of the D, I think we already talked about that a little bit. And what does she believe? Well, I got a question to you guys. Because maybe it's something that I missed, and I've been researching it. But what does she believe? Because I haven't seen any of her policies. I haven't seen anything. She doesn't confront the American people. She's hiding. That's not fair to the American people. I mean, to me, it's an insult because she
So you actually believe that she's hiding with her lack of... Compared to Barack Obama, I think it's fair. She's totally hiding if it's compared to Barack Obama. Barack Obama,
I don't even want to talk about Barack Obama because that's past.
Is to compare her public showings compared to him are awful because he was always in the limelight.
I agree, and he was an amazing speaker. Amazing speaker, and he's probably a better speaker than I'd probably say most presidents that we've had in the last probably 20 years. But again, I'm not going to get into Barack Obama because I don't think it's really, because this is right now, it's about two people. It's going to be about Biden and Kamala. Wade, I don't blame you because it happened to me last time. That's why I got the paper this time because I kept saying, oh my God, I got to take a note. So I feel Wade already, he's looking at me here. He's going to have some good responses to this, which is good. This is what I want. I want this just to be is a friendly conversation here that we're actually putting the facts out and just getting everybody to think. Sometimes we have to be very careful because we can't just believe what our TV tells us to believe, because that's the scary thing right now is, and this is again on both sides. It depends on where you listen. You have to be very, very careful to the information that you're receiving and where that information is coming from, because there's so much stuff that's just actually BS. And again, I'm not saying one way or another because it happens on both sides. I'm just going to touch a couple of things here because I know Wade said about cutting prices. Kamala says she's going to cut prices. Why hasn't she cut prices already? She's in the White House right now, and she's been there for over 1,300 days. And in 1,300 days, she hasn't cut these prices and haven't done anything for it. But yet, she wants us to believe that on day one, she's going to do everything. And my question again to you, why hasn't she done it already?
Hey, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, y'all. Mashing the place up. Bashment. You know what I'm saying? Nadeem just mashed the place up with that because that's in hindsight. That's what it's called, presidents. So what presidents has she shown to fulfill what she's claiming she's doing? The same with Donald Trump. What presidents has he shown to fulfill what he's claiming he's going to do? They're both in the hot seat when it comes to that. To me, what is it that they're going to do? Well, out of their mouth, at least Donald Trump is saying what he's doing, and we actually got we have him being the president and him being his entrepreneur run has always been in the limelight. So we actually know a lot about Donald Trump and his claims of what he will do, and you just compare that to what he has done. The same with Kamala Harris. She claims she's going to do certain things. You just compare that to what she has done. And remember, she is still the vice president. You got a whole 3.5 years to look at what she's been about. And she was a senator, correct? So,
Okay. You guys understand that the vice president has no power to cut anything. A vice president does not go to Congress
Facts.
and make policy. The president of the United States sends his representative.
But the vice president can go and communicate
vice
with
president
them.
has. If you
But they
look
can
up
go
in
and
the
influence.
if you look up in the Constitution, she cannot cut prices.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I
but
agree on that.
Biden can cut prices with a presidential order. Kamala Harris cannot cut prices with no. She does not have the power that Trump has. So to try to compare Kamala Harris's administration right now, she doesn't even have an administration. She's in an administration. She's not at the top of the administration. She's not the voice of the administration.
So you're saying we need realistic expectation management,
Now,
like
all
more
right.
political literacy, expectation management, y'all. That's what he's saying.
It's like
that's what he's implying.
It's like telling the vice principal, it's your fault that the school is falling apart. No, there's a principal. It's his fault. The vice principal does what the principal tells him to do. The
I would blame
counselors
them
do what
both.
they tell him to do.
Thank you.
No, you
Okay,
can't.
this is a
no,
team.
it's always the man. Let me tell you something. 18 years military. Something goes wrong. It's always the man at the top. It's not the person that's under the man at the top. It's the man or woman that's at the top. And with the buck, like President Roosevelt said, the buck stops here. Why? I am president. To try to blame a vice president for a president's policies is trying to blame a 2-year-old for a mother driving 55 miles an hour on a freeway, on the street and getting a ticket.
All
it's
right.
both ridiculous.
Okay, so you say that. First of all, she did support all the policies that Biden had, and if you listen to that 2019 debate, she supported all these policies.
But she didn't do it.
Hold on a minute. Okay, but you said she didn't do it.
She's not responsible.
She's not responsible. Then what
Right,
was she
she's
doing?
She's
What was
not
she doing there?
responsible at all.
No, she's a vice
A total
president.
100%.
Okay,
lack
so
of
let me ask you one
responsibility.
more question. Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on. Let me respond back to that.
Look up her job under the Constitution. Look up her job under the Constitution. Her job under the Constitution is to take the place of the president if something happens to her. The same thing as a Speaker of the House. Speaker of the House has more power than Kamala Harris. Kamala
Okay.
Harris is there to break, like if there's a tie in the Senate.
All right, is it my
she's
turn?
there
I
to
see.
give. Hold on, she's there to break the tie. That's it. You got to look at the Constitution. Don't look. I tell my son all the time, stop looking at YouTube and Instagram and getting these other people's opinions. Look in the Constitution and see what the power of the vice president is. And what you're going to see is the vice president is the sole representative or the underrepresentative of the president of the United States. Let me just say one more thing. The chief of staff with the president has more power than the vice president. Because the chief of staff tells everyone, you can't see him. He says, Mr. President, you should set this policy and set that policy. The president doesn't have to listen to anyone.
Okay. We hear you and we feel you.
All right.
All right, I'm going to leave that part alone, but let me ask you a question then. You say that she's not responsible for Biden's policies, that it was all Biden. right? So my question to you is, what the hell are her policies? Why doesn't she put her policies out there?
She has.
Okay, where? Where are her policies at?
She has.
Where are they? Tell me what the policies are.
Have you been listening to her rallies? Have you?
Tell me.
How many rallies? Excuse me. How many rallies have you looked at?
I'll tell you this much right now, because I can go ahead and go right now.
No. I'm asking you a question.
Hold on a minute.
How many rallies?
Hold on a minute.
How many rallies have you looked at?
Let me tell you one thing
Okay,
first.
you're repeating
I let you
something
talk,
we heard.
and I did not interrupt you.
Hold on, I'll do that. Hold on. It's his turn.
I understand that.
And he's going to answer your question, too.
You gonna answer that question?
Yeah, he's going to answer all your questions, but you got to let him talk.
All right.
It's his turn.
Okay.
Okay? Because if you remember, I didn't interrupt you once at all. I let you completely finish, and I raised my hand once you were done, and I gave you the opportunity, and I did not interrupt you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, first of all, I'll tell you, you can go to Kamala Harris's website right now, and you can go ahead and look. What does it have? It has a fundraiser, and that's it. It does not have a policy, okay? On the other hand, you can go to Donald Trump's website, and what a coincidence. Look what I got right here. I have the entire list of here, sheet after sheet after sheet of all his policies and everything he's going to go ahead and do.
Can I check
okay?
that?
Yeah, I'll
little
get
bit.
to all at the
Okay.
end. Okay, and again, Donald Trump is not scared to take any live interview, it doesn't matter with who, anywhere, any place. And Kamala is not. 40-something days so far and has not done zero interviews. Okay? Now, I wanted to back up just one little thing, okay? Because to me, this doesn't really matter, because it's more about what she's capable of and things like that. But you did mention that she decided to be black, that she was Indian and black, and she decided to be black. I mean, either you are or you're not. Okay, because you said she decided. That was your words, that you said she decided to be black.
I would agree with that.
Okay. Now,
I ain't never had no choice. As mixed as I am,
one problem that I have with Kamala
choice.
is I don't know if you saw her a couple days ago, that she did a speech at one of the rallies in Pittsburgh. Okay, and I can play it because I have it here for you, and I can go ahead and play it so you can go ahead and see it. And she spoke with a Southern accent. Okay, now she was born and she was raised in Oakland, in San Francisco area, and why all of a sudden she has a Southern accent? I mean, to me, that's pandering to the black community. I mean, I think it's just plain insulting, because I think she's just playing people off, pretending to be something that she really isn't. And again, just in closing, like I said, she should sit down, open up an interview, be open to questions. And you talk about policy. She said that, in 2019, absolutely, she was not in accordance with fracking. And now, no, she's okay with fracking. So now it's okay. So now, but we can't confront her. We can't ask her a question why she changed her mind. Oh, no, I think she said, yes, my morals or something like that never changed. But your policies did, but nobody ever called her on it or didn't say anything, and there's a lot of these things here that she supported all of these Biden policies, and then now she's trying to separate herself from it. Now, why is she trying to separate from it? Because they're not popular. Okay, and that's fine, but she should be able to confront and say where she stands and be able to defend him, because Donald Trump is not scared to confront anybody and to talk to anybody, period, at all. Now I'll give it over to you.
Okay. First of all.
Hold on, please.
Okay.
So everybody, we're grateful. You hear how they putting these points out? That's what this is about. It's a respectful debate, and as you see, that's conflict. And part of my studies was international conflict management and mediation, international humanitarian law. So we're here doing this as education. We're also educating you on how to behave and how to understand how to communicate through the conflicts in political encounters and political ambitions, political competitions. That's part of what we're doing here. So we're going to get back to the debate now. Wait.
Okay. So, you're saying that Kamala has never put out her policies? I'm looking at her policies right here on my phone, and all I had to do was say Kamala Harris policies.
Give me the top.
Here are 10 issues. Here are 10 issues that she stands on, okay? Her first issue, the economy. She has a policy on that. We're not gonna go through this because in order for me to read her policies, it's gonna take me about 30 minutes, so I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, 2.
She has a policy on immigration. She has a policy on abortion. She has a policy on NATO and Ukraine aid.
I'm gonna have to, and toward the end, need you to choose at least 2 of those to discuss.
That's fine. She
And
has a
the same
policy
for you.
on Israel Gaza war. She has a policy on taxes.
Where did you get those policies?
All I did was
Let him finish
all I
and then
did,
again.
let me answer this question. All I did was type in Kamala Harris's policies.
I'm just wondering if
That's
it
all I
came from
did.
her talking. That's
No,
what I was
it
wondering.
came from her. She
All right, number 6.
She put out her policies already in written form. And all the BBC, this is from the
That's
BBC.
great.
All the BBC did was go to her,
website.
and copy it down.
Okay.
So for him to say she hasn't put anything out in writing, that's
Finish
that's
number 6.
Oh, excuse me, sir. I'm talking.
Okay, we're not gonna do it.
No,
that
no,
way.
no, 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 no,
We,
no.
we
I'm
can't.
good.
It can't. Listen,
Health-
we can't do it that way. We got just nothing because that becomes personal and
I'm not
the
I'm not
emotional
being,
spillover.
I'm not being
So
personal.
what we'll do is just say okay,
I'm not being personal.
but yes or no when it comes to that.
To what?
When whose turn it is to
That's
speak and
fine.
stuff.
That's fine. I don't know.
Yes or no is best.
Healthcare. She has a policy on crime. She has a policy on climate. She has a policy on gun laws.
Okay.
So I mean, that's her top 10. Okay. Second, you're saying that Kamala Harris has changed her political opinions, right? Donald Trump gave money to Democrats before he became president. Donald Trump gave money to abortion clinics.
Not only are you right, but Donald Trump gave $6,000 to Kamala Harris for her re-election in 2011.
Exactly. And he gave money to Clinton.
Yeah, he was a Democrat.
Yeah, exactly. He was a Democrat. But he's a smart man.
Well, honestly, the Democrats and Republican parties change periodically, make a lot of changes. Our economy does.
I'm not
All right, can I do a couple questions here?
I'm not going to say that the policies of the Democrats, because right now, when I looked at her, when I look at some of what she's saying, and when I looked at the convention, if you go back 20 years ago or 30 years ago and you listen to Reagan, Bush, she was saying some of the same things that Reagan and Bush was saying. And I'm like, my goodness, this thing has flip-flopped.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
So this is politics. So you talk about Trump wanted to do away with NATO. That's just crazy. If you do away with NATO, you're opening the door.
Okay, so that's an argument point. Let him address what you said before, but that's an argument point. No, write that down. We'll come back to that argument point so you guys can discuss that. Because that's something I want to get involved. Because later I already planned that we'll talk international affairs.
Oh.
So I'll write it down. So he has some questions for you in regards to her policies.
So you said the policy, the first policy on economy. What is her policy on economy?
Her policy on the economy is to give more tax breaks to the middle class, to make sure that the rich pay their fair share. And since Biden has done that, our economy has grown. Another thing, she's going to give tax credits to parents. She's going to make it easier for middle class people to get loans for businesses. So I mean, I can go on and on and on, but I'm sure you don't want me to.
So over the last 4 years, have those two things already been working towards that?
Biden has, but not like Kamala Harris is.
Oh, okay.
Biden already has, but she's going to. She says, "I'm going to strengthen these things that Biden has already started." So the healthcare costs.
She said that. Okay.
No. I didn't hear her say it with her mouth. But I do a lot of research. If you do what Biden is doing now, right, and you compare to what Kamala is saying these things that Joe is doing is great, and I'm going to double down on it.
Well, you just said she didn't say it.
No, she didn't
verbally.
Say it. No. But if you, like I said, if you tell me this, hey man, I'm going to go out and I'm going to take 20 shots, and I says, okay, well when I become president, I'm going to take 60 shots. So that's like what she's saying. Okay, when I become president, I'm going to make these things stronger. I'm going to be stronger here and stronger there. No, she hasn't said it because she's smart. Everybody loves Biden. Biden's numbers have went up. Why would you say, well, I'm going to be stronger than Biden? Just say, I'm going to concentrate and focus here and concentrate and focus there. She's an intelligent person.
She's smart because she won't tell you anything. And she's smart because she knows that you're just going to go ahead and listen to what the media tells you and just go ahead and accept it, okay? Because generalities, most of these stuff that you hear are going to be generalities because she doesn't have these broken down in the details. Now, I know we're going to talk about NATO later, but this was one of the notes that I had when you talked about it. You said that Trump said he wanted to do away with the NATO. That's what your TV told you to because that's not true, okay? What Trump did is Trump told NATO that they needed to pay their fair share. That's what a businessman does. A businessman says, hey, look, if you don't pay up, you're not going to get the protection. But what did the media do? Oh, they turned around. Oh, no, Trump wants to destroy NATO. Trump never said that. Trump just specifically said what a businessman would do where no other president, Republican, Democrat, or anybody has not had the balls to do is to go ahead and confront these people and tell them, hey, either you're going to go ahead and pay your fair share. Why is the United States always the policeman of the world and we have to go ahead and save everybody? We got to pay for everything. And I know we're going to talk about more international stuff, but it's again the same thing. Why are we paying for all these wars and all this stuff? And other countries are not paying their fair share. That's where we need somebody who has the balls to confront these other leaders. And Kamala Harris cannot even confront the American people, the friendly media, because the media is friendly to her. How do you think it's going to be when she goes to go ahead and negotiate, with Putin or Jim Kong, whatever, from North Korea?
That's a good point.
And she all this bunch of stuff.
I personally,
she can't even do a live interview by herself. She needs to take her emotional support puppy, which is the vice president. This is not a vice president interview. It's supposed to be her interview so she can confront and say, hey, I'm here, I'm the one that's got the plans, but she's scared to go ahead and do it. 40-something days and she's not ready to do it. She needs to go ahead and I don't know what the right word is, but man up and go ahead and do it. And I don't know, because these policies are not listed on her website, because I have her website printed right here, and there's absolutely nothing of that.
Yeah, so I looked at her website too.
You may have taken that from the media that the media's put out there, but that she's actually put it out unofficial? No, she's not.
How did the BBC get it?
They pulled that out of their ass because it didn't come from Kamala or anything like that.
She on her website she does have some things referring to all that, but to be honest with both of you, presidential elects when coming down, they're always vague when their policies on their websites.
Hey, Trump is not vague. Trump will go ahead. He'll face up anybody. He'll do anything. He'll tell you. And whether you like it or not, he's going to tell you. And that's why Wade started out saying, oh, yes, Kamala will tell you the things the way they are. You know what? No, they don't. Most politicians, and I'm going to say most politicians in the entire world, will going to tell you what you want to hear. And then once they're in power, they do whatever they want. Okay.
Well, Democrats do that a lot.
No, even Republicans. Every single politician is going to do that, and they're going to tell you, "Oh, hey, buddy, I guess that." And then once you do that, then they do whatever they want to, because that's what Kamala is doing. Oh, that's fracking. Huge, yes. Why did she change her mind on fracking? Because she saw it wasn't a popular thing. So she's just flip-flopping, just telling you what you want to hear, and yet a lot of people, oh my God, yes, I believe. Oh, because I feel so good because I want her to.
Well,
yes.
I have a question in regards to. Kamala Harris international experience versus President Donald Trump's international experience. Let's talk about economics.
All right.
When it comes to international
I'll give
experience.
I'll give you a good example. Okay, right now, one of the most important issues is this war in Gaza with Israel. Okay, we're spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on this war, and I think that should be one hot topic there. Now, The prime
Well,
minister.
in general, they are spending, especially this presidency, Biden. He put so much toward Ukraine and Israel. It's disgusting.
Okay.
They're not fixing bridges.
But
They're
you're
not
asking me about the
fixing
policies and their
roads.
international relationship, and this is what I want to go ahead and tell you about Kamala.
That's not true.
Okay. About 3 weeks ago, the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, he didn't address the Congress in front of all of Congress.
I know.
And what did Kamala do? Oh, no, I have a fundraiser. I have something else. I got a nail appointment. I got to do my hair. I don't know what it is.
Well,
that
I
is
actually
a slap in the back.
Well, I don't think she already has been kind of against him openly. So that was kind of
Okay,
like.
then say that.
She
but,
did.
But no, because I'll go ahead and play for you here. She's, we support Israel 100%.
That's
she's
true.
pandering and she's playing to both
But that
sides.
is-
She's not picking a
that's
side
true.
because she's playing that game where she doesn't want to tell you exactly what it is. Because again, now we have all these people in Gaza at the DNC. They were out there burning the American flags, pulling them down, and then putting up the Palestinian flag. Now, first of all, Wade, I want to thank you very much for your military service, and I really do appreciate that. Okay, but as a military man, and I know a lot of your friends and stuff has fought, and yourself have fought for that American flag, and just to allow a foreigner that's going to go ahead and come over here and yell "Death to America" and all this bunch of stuff. And if you have your own American flag that you bought and you want to burn it, okay, so what? That's your
They were
First
burning
Amendment
the
right.
American
They were burning
flag,
the American
weren't
flag
they?
on the street. They pulled it down, and then not only that, they raised the Palestinian flag. That should never happen in the United States. All of these students,
Mexicans here in California are driving around with their flags all the time.
well, driving around with the flag and then pulling a flag down and lighting it on fire is a little bit different.
That
But I don't
is
agree with that
different.
You know
either.
when I can talk.
Okay.
Okay.
I would.
But I don't agree with that either. So I don't think that's it. So this is international stuff. Now, what did Trump do? Trump's not even the president, and he had Netanyahu come over to his house for dinner at Mar-a-Lago. And if you look, I mean, they spent a lot of time there.
Well, I got a thing I would like to say about that. They call Joe Genocide Joe. They call Harris Genocide Harris. But what would they call Trump if he's taking the man doing
They
the
know.
genocide to his house?
They know.
If Donald Trump,
Trump
is
doesn't
taking
care.
Netanyahu to his house, so that means he's genocide Trump.
That's
just
fine.
like their
but Trump
genocide
doesn't have a problem with
Biden.
that. Trump, you know where Trump stands.
Oh, I see what you're.
Okay,
Woo,
and
that's a good point.
He's not going to hide it. And now, if next week,
Good
if
point.
Trump had the Palestinians over at his house, for a little bit of golf and stuff, then I would say, okay, that's pandering to both sides. But that's exactly what I'm telling you. You know where Trump stands. Okay, but Kamala and Biden, I'm sorry, but they just think that the American people are stupid and that they can just go ahead and trick you and get you to go ahead and vote
So
for.
that's your argument that they're deceptive.
Okay,
Absolutely.
hold on. Let me
Go
tell
ahead.
you.
I don't personally think they're
Okay, hold
alone in
on.
that.
Let me tell you something. Would you rather put boots on the ground?
All right, I'm going to answer that question for you.
Would you do yes or no? I just want to hear yes or no. That's a yes or no question.
If I can answer the question, I'm going to give you an answer. I'm not going to
No,
be
'cause
restricted.
I don't want
I'm
you
not
to
going to be
go-
restricted, and
Okay,
you're not going to go ahead and tell me what I can and can't say.
I let you talk.
Yeah,
then
but
you
you asked
talk,
a
right?
question.
Then finish and I'll
I just want a yes or no answer. Should we put boots on the ground?
I am not going to be told what I need to say by you.
Should we put
If I
boots on
want
the
to go
ground?
ahead and respond, I can go ahead and respond.
Then, please let me say something, okay?
You're the
He's
one
been
that
talking
called
for
me.
the last
You're the one that
5
called me. I
minutes.
didn't.
Okay,
I let you
for
talk.
15 minutes. All I
Okay,
wanted
but
was a
I'm
yes
not
or
going
no
to let you
answer.
control me.
I don't
and
want
you're
to
telling me what to do.
I'm gonna shut these down for a minute, and we're gonna take a break. Everybody, benevolence, take it easy. Everybody. Everybody, we're back up. We have come to some agreements, and as you see, we're informing you. These statesmen are informing you and educating you and giving you a way to understand and have an educated perspective on your vote and on your who you support. That's what all this information from these two gentlemen that took their time out are giving you, so that you can have a more educated perspective. Polarization is a natural thing in this planet and in this world. Government politics, because there's personal politics, there's all kind of politics in this world. Politics applies to everything, economic, financial politics. But we're talking about government presidential election on this right now. We have a Democratic and a Republican representative debating it out. So it's gonna get heated. That's the way it is. It's nothing personal, and it could get dysfunctional at times. I am a mediator. I was an educated and professional mediator and conflict manager. So we had to slow it down for a second to come to some understanding and agreement. If you can remember his question.
Have him ask him the question again.
Should there be boots on the ground in Gaza and in Ukraine?
Should there be American soldiers active in protracted conflict areas in Gaza, Israel and Palestine, and in Ukraine? That's the question. Should there be Americans?
Okay. The answer to that, first of all, I don't know where the question came from, because nobody has ever said to have boots on the ground, and that's not an idea that's been out there. Now, in addition to that, let me finish.
But I think it's a good question.
In addition to that, Trump was probably one of the best peacemakers out there. He kept the stability abroad. He did not start any new wars, and that is probably one of the only presidents in the last, I don't know, 20, 25, 30 years that did not start any new wars whatsoever. Trump is a peacemaker. On top of that, Trump did negotiate the Abraham Accords with Israel and some of the countries. No, don't get mad. It is what it is. Okay, nobody was able to go ahead and do that.
I know. But he
It's
said
it's part of being a peacemaker, and that's the answer. You just wanted a simple answer, so you can go ahead and come back.
Hold on. Now, you got it out.
Okay.
Hold on. You guys, you're doing great. Don't let it devolve into using the word "you" on each other, and then following up with.
I'm not going to use that word.
But again, no, I'm not done yet. Let me finish.
Okay. Well, I want to recall that to the audience. So, you said no about boots on the ground.
Nobody has ever said about having boots on the ground. That's never been in the discussion. Now, what I wanted to say there, the additional information is that Trump has been a peacemaker, and he's trying to do peace everywhere.
That's good.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Okay.
Now, if you remember on the interview.
You can disagree with that, but
the interview
to answer this question, I want to know. I want you to answer yes or no to the question.
With CNN, and they asked him about the Ukraine war. Okay, and this is where I'm saying, and Trump said he wants the war to end, to stop, that he wants people to stop dying. Okay, and
he did. I saw that and I thought it was noble.
I think it's noble too.
Nervy,
okay?
Actually nervy, because it's a lot of investors
the thing is,
that
most
want
people
the war
don't think
to
about
go.
Is there's young kids, and I don't know if you have any kids or not. I have two boys, 21 and 24, and these people on both sides, on the Russian side and on the Ukrainian side, they're out there, they're dying, their kids are dying, they're suffering.
So your answer is no.
My answer is absolutely no, and I think they should be negotiated to end it.
So it sounds, the reason why I wanted to hear that, and I think he wanted to hear that, because I think he agrees.
But I'm getting ready to say something.
I think we found an agreement.
But nobody, he's the one that brought the boots on the ground. I never said that. I want peace, just like Trump wants peace.
No, here was my question to you. You guys are talking about Biden putting money into Israel.
Let me get you some water.
Come on.
You good?
Yeah. And money into Ukraine. The reason why the United States puts money there is to not put boots on the ground. It's either boots on the ground or money. Now, me personally, being a vet and knowing combat vets, I don't want them to put boots on the ground. As a matter of fact, hold on.
I'm glad you both are answering that question.
As a matter of fact, The United States already has boots on the ground right now. They are testing tanks and they are providing intelligence to Ukraine about Russia right now. In Poland, they are shipping ammunition and supplies from Poland into Ukraine right now. You have boots on the ground, Green Berets. You got people, you got Green Berets, you got intelligence assets on the ground right now in Ukraine. But what I'm saying is this. Here's what I'm saying. Hold on, I haven't finished. What I'm saying is this. I haven't finished. What I'm saying is this. In Israel and in Ukraine, one, they're giving money to Israel because most of our country are, a lot of our country, not most, a lot of our country are Judeo-Christians. And they back Israel 165,000%. So one, it's a political move. Two, if Israel is attacked, we have to respond by putting troops on the ground in order to stop them. Right now we got subs, we have ships over there. When Iran shot missiles, Yemen shot missiles, Lebanon shot missiles, we had ships in the Gulf and in the Mediterranean Sea that intercepted these missiles. So we are an ally of Israel, and we give them money because if they fall, then the Middle East falls. That would be how many democratic governments are in the Middle East? Zip.
One.
Zip. That'll be the only true democratic government to fall in the Middle East. If Ukraine falls, Poland falls. If Ukraine falls, then Russia's gonna come through Ukraine and just keep going to the Nordic states. That's why we're putting money over there. And if they go into Poland or they attack any of the Baltic states, right? Now we're gonna go to war with Russia. So what is the United States trying to do? They are feeding them money to keep them out of the NATO states so that we won't, so that my son won't have to go over there and die on the ground. United States have done this
When do I get the answer?
the United States have done this
What?
for decades.
Okay, I want to first of all thank you because you just educated a lot of people about the potential of what's really going on right now and what could be. And you also answered questions about where you stand and on all that. And I actually agree with you on that. Now, as for the ideas of how it could pan out, I thank you for talking strategy because it sounds like we have something else we could do another talk about, possible strategies or what could come about in these war zones, these possible war zones. But I would like to pass the mic and
Okay. So you said that these wars and stuff have been going on for decades, and that's what I just heard a few minutes ago. And yes, you're absolutely right. Okay, and that's the military-industrial complex that the Democrats and even the Republicans, they love it. Okay.
hold on a second. You can call in, and you can your comments will be read. You can call in, and your comments will be read, regardless. Yep, it's love every time.
Okay, so again, you said for decades and decades it's been the same thing, and as I say, that is the military-industrial complex that just feeds money, and they spend billions and billions and billions of dollars, and it goes to these defense contractors, and that's where it is. There's big influences to keep these wars going. Trump wants to stop the wars, stop the dying, stop spending the money over there. He is a negotiator. He wants to go ahead and put a deal together that's going to go ahead and put it, that's going to get it done. Now, you were talking about boots on the ground. You said a few minutes ago on Kamala's policies that you said she has a policy on the Israel war and Ukraine. Do any of those policies talk about settling the war or finishing it, or is it just sending more money and more money and more money and more money?
Are you asking me a question?
No, not yet. It's a statement.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now it's more money. Now you say, we send money instead of boots. Okay, that's fine. I agree. You have to go ahead and send more money. Yet, Europe financially is the same exact size as the United States. So why has the United States sent 200 billion and Europe has only sent like, I don't know, like $15 billion? Why do we send, 10 to 20 times the amount of money? And that's what Trump says. Trump is a negotiator. He's going to go to Europe and say, hey, you guys, it's more important, like you said, for Poland. Poland's right there. It's much more important for Poland to be protected than it is for the United States, because we have an ocean between us. But yet, we're so stupid in the United States, we just send money. We just send money and we don't even question it. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to send money and you're going to go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
Okay?
But the sad thing is, as you said earlier, it's not just the Democrats that do that. It's also the Republicans. That's the sad thing.
That's the way it's been in the past.
Donald Trump is the only president I've seen that did not play that game. He's the only president that did the international thing right. He did not fuck around and get to just allowing money to fly when it came to Israel. He's the only one that ever stood up to them that I've seen, period. And then he didn't let that shit with Russia crumble. Now, I don't think it was totally Biden's fault how the thing played out, because I think the pandemic had something to do with how far it went with Russia and Ukraine.
Well,
but I'm going to leave that alone.
I'm just going to go ahead and finish off here.
Go ahead. It's your turn. It's all your turn.
I'm going to go ahead and finish off here. And, one important thing that Reagan had, and again, Reagan is probably one of our best presidents out there, and he always had the phrase that it was peace through strength. And the stronger you are militarily, it doesn't mean you need to use it, but the stronger you are, the less wars and the less things that you get involved with. Now, you said about the war in Ukraine. When it first started and Russia was up under the border, Biden said, oh, well, it just depends if it's going to be a big incursion or a little incursion. It depends on what we're going to do. Wrong. That was a very weak move. He should have said, hey, you cross that border and we're going to kick your ass. We're going to go do this. We're going to support Ukraine. And most likely that war would not have happened. But because his weakness, two things. The pulling out of Afghanistan, which was an embarrassment. This is the biggest embarrassment of the United States in the last, I don't know, 50 years or more. And that weakness is what Russia said, okay.
We don't want to put money toward these war zone in places, but we do want to keep soldiers there. How can that
I never said keep soldiers there.
Well, we pulled out Afghanistan. You said that.
Yes, but we're talking about Trump and this is that. This is the past wars before, and it's showing the weakness. Is the only thing I'm saying. And yes, we have to show my only thing I'm saying is, if you're going to go ahead and do it, why do we have to carry the whole burden when it's much more important for Europe? It's much more important for Poland, because they're countries that are on the border.
Yeah, okay.
Now,
I get that right there. Absolutely, I'm 100% on that.
The same thing with Taiwan.
Because we're not even putting the money toward cleaning our own act up here.
Thank you.
We want to put that money over in Ukraine and in Israel.
We have veterans on the street. We have people, American citizens, that need the help, that need money, that need a lot of things, and yet, and I'm just going to touch really break because I don't want to change the subject too much, but at the end, we have hundreds of thousands of 10 to 12 million illegal aliens across the border. We're giving them debit cards.
Man,
we're flying them everywhere. We are giving them food.
Because I had a couple of questions.
I have lots and lots and lots of questions.
In the last hour, I was going to do a question in the last hour. We already have done an hour, but not really. We got 5 more minutes before we've been an hour going. We haven't even been going an hour. But in regards to that, let's just have some, because you educated me a lot, Wade, when it came to what you were just saying. Everything how you said it panned out was wonderful. How you panned everything out. I actually wish I had a big screen so that you could be pointing out to show people what you were trying to explain. But awesome is what you're saying, Nadeem, because the financing of it is awful. It's going into our revenue, and we've been playing this game. And then the problem, what people need to understand, is we're printing this money ourselves. We're creating, there's nothing.
Inflation?
There's nothing that's, all that financing going to Ukraine, not to United States bases in Ukraine, to Israel, not to United States bases in Israel, but just to them and their military troubles, their geographical troubles. All that finances is tax dollars and from bonds, and then from pseudo printing of finances that don't exist. So you're putting a burden on future generations of Americans. You're putting a burden that on future generations of Americans. And now that's been going on so long, as Nadeem was saying, and I know Wade also knows about it because we actually talked about it. So we're not saying nothing that's new to Wade. And Wade, actually, you both agree on this. We all three of us. That it needs to stop. Sorry, yoo-hoo, we're in a pseudo economy. Economy means to preserve and build up resources. We're in a pseudo economy, yet we're in a real military industrial complex. So what's wonderful is we've done an hour. It's been very informative. The disagreements are clear. The agreements are even clear. And before we go into me doing my back and forth questioning, where I'll throw in Jeopardy questions, we'll be going for another hour, everyone. We'll be going for another hour. Within at least the last, they're gonna both do a couple of speaking themselves on what they want to speak about and even question each other for another 10 minutes at least. But then for another 30 minutes, I'm gonna do some Jeopardy questioning to each individual. And it's gonna be specifically about Kamala Harris and what her administration will be doing, could be doing, and what they feel the outcomes will be, and President Donald Trump and what him and his administration would or could be doing, and what they think the outcomes will be. So then the last 10 minutes of, I'm going to do some shout outs, pitches, let you know what OWU is, what David Dimitri Live in Color is, talk to you about the music, the song and the music videos coming out, the film outline, the book outline to empower, etc. So keep chiming in, and no one has called in today, but we want to give some props to everybody that is in, whether you're here on the YouTube, because we're on David Dimitri Live in Color YouTube, and we're on OWU's YouTube, and we're on David Dimitri's Instagram. So yeah, thank you. And let's get back to it. Mr. Wade, Federal Reserve history. Mr. Wade is holding up something he wants me to read. Federal Reserve history. Nixon ends convertibility of U.S. dollar to gold and announces wage price controls. National Bureau of Economic Research. Yeah.
So who took us off of the gold? It was Republicans. It was not Democrats. It was a Republican president who changed our economy from a gold to dollars economy to a economy that adaptation, that's called an economic adaptation and evolution, because the world's economy was coming off of gold. They all agreed, the European states, America, and all of the other power players in the world, even over in Asia and Africa, decided agreed to come off. So the United States was just. But there are some countries that's still on the. Not only that, the BRICS countries right now are pushing toward that, and
gold standard.
Right.
The
gold standard, but I believe the war standard will be the last word. Get the last word. So I feel whether we go into total crypto and digital, or whether we're hybrid gold and digital, either way, war is going to end up telling us where we're going into future war. And those wars will be the second Civil War in the United States, the Civil War going on throughout Europe because of the immigrations and because of the economic changes, and the World War III.
Let me run home and get my notes real quick.
Really?
Yeah,
you gotta do that?
I'm right there.
All right, well, we need you to speak because he had just spoke. I was gonna pass it to you.
No, go ahead.
No, I need you just for
Okay.
another 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Whether you want
No, I'll do it. I got some notes over there that I forgot.
But address something domestic about Trump and Harris.
Okay.
Both of them.
Trump wants to Project 2025.
Okay, good. There you go.
Project 2025, I did research on Project 2025. I read a lot of that document. That document, if Trump becomes president, oh my, if Trump becomes president, he is going to turn our country into another Russia or North Korea. Now here, when I joined the Army and I said my pledge,
Yes.
it was to the Constitution.
Yes.
They want people in the Army.
Caller.
Yes.
Thank you
Well,
for calling in.
Yes. Bless.
Caller.
Bless.
Okay.
Bless. Alley Cat has called in. We have a caller. All right. So how you doing? This hopefully you're doing good because we're helping you do good with this talk.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I appreciate both viewpoints. I have a question when you guys can get to it within the debate. So for both guests, do you think that the United States economy is going to collapse within the next 6 months to a year if the candidate that you're not going for wins? And if so, can you explain?
Okay. So everyone that heard that question, I had to let my two guests here know what she asked. She asked, are you ready for this? You are? Okay. This is the question she's going to ask. Both of you are going to have to answer it. You might want to type it down. Do you feel that your choice of candidate will be able to handle if within the after the presidency is decided, within the next year or two, if the economy collapses? Do you think, am I asking that question right?
Yeah.
Do you think that that they're going to be, that it is going to collapse, or that if it collapses?
Do they think that it will collapse?
Do you think that it will collapse, and how do you think your choice of president will respond to help the country? So, do you think it will collapse, and if it does collapse, how do you think your choice of president will respond to help the country if the economy collapses? So it's two questions. Do you think it will collapse within the next year or two, and the economy, even worse than 2008, even worse than the pandemic? And if and when it does collapse, how do you think your choice of president will respond? We'll start that with Wade, since it was his turn to talk. Do you have anything else you want to add? Because I wanted some opinions. Can you give some opinions, Alley Cat?
I think still the same one from the last time the Trump supporter guest was on the show. I really do think that when the presidency campaign is running, and let's say, like, for example, if Kamala wins, that her vice president should be a Republican, and let's say, Republican,
that's a good idea.
Trump wins, and his vice president should be a Democrat.
I'm going to tell them, before you get off, I'm going to tell them what you said, because everyone else could hear you. So she said that, I'm trying to find a plug so I can plug in the ear so you guys can hear. But she said something that I said, and me and her both, that try something new, and that is, if Trump becomes the president, he has to choose a Democrat to be his vice president. And if Kamala wins, I thought of that the other day, but I'm glad she brought that up, because it's innovative. If Kamala Harris wins, she has to choose a Republican to be her vice president. That was like something that I thought of, and I'm glad she valued it enough to bring it, because I had mentioned it last time when we were talking.
I got an answer for it.
Okay, so let's discuss those first two questions, and then we're going to discuss the potential and possibilities of a Democrat president having to choose a Republican to be their vice president, or if a Republican is the president, they have to choose a Democrat to be their vice president. So let's address those two other questions. Thank you, Alley Cat, for calling in. Gratitude.
Yes, give thanks. I'll listen online.
Thank you. Bless. It's love every
Bless.
time. So let's get into starting with you, Wade, because he has spoke last. Is in regards to the question she asked. You remember the first question she asked?
Mm-hmm.
About, so if the economy crashes, how will your choice of president deal with that?
So, no, I do not believe that the economy is going to crash
Good.
in
I'm
the
glad you
next
answered
year.
that.
No, because our institutions.
Next 2 years?
No,
No, I
No.
don't either.
our institutions are strong.
Polity is very strong.
Plus, the one who runs the money in the United States is the Fed.
The Fed.
It's not Congress. It's
No.
not a president.
It's the Fed.
It's the Fed.
So then that lets you know that when they're ready, that shit will crash.
Yeah, so-
we should blame them.
So the Fed is the one who's in charge of inflation and bringing it down and making sure the economy stays on an even keel. The president tells the Fed, yeah, this is my policies, but the Fed is going to do what the Fed wants to do because it's not controlled by the federal government, neither by state government.
Hold on a second. Do you feel the same way about the Fed? Do you feel the
I
same
feel
way
a little
about the
bit differently,
Fed?
but let him finish.
Okay. I'm gonna want to know how you feel about the Fed. I know.
You know, the
it's
Fed
all
is a
good.
separate institution altogether.
Yeah, but let's not go there. Let's talk
Well,
about
you-
the question.
That's why I said. That's why.
Okay.
I'm
We can
talking-
talk about the Fed another time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't want to go too deep. I don't want to because they're listening, and I
Yeah.
don't want to.
But that's
It's my fault. It's
yeah.
my
Oh,
fault.
that's okay. That's okay. Number one, the Fed is the one who controls the economy.
So you
Number
said
two-
you don't believe it's gonna crash.
Oh no.
And how will Harris? The question was, is how your
If-
choice is Harris. How would she deal with it if it did crash?
She do
How
good.
would she deal with it if
you know,
she,
historically,
Harris deal with the economy if it crashes?
Do you-
How would she help America?
do you know
Do it.
historically, when a Democratic president is ruling, our economy goes up. Historically,
I don't like to say
when the
ruling.
Republic, it's true. Well, it's true. When they have an administration, our economy goes up. Historically, when there's a Republican administration, our economy goes down. That is historical precedent.
Since when? Since when?
No, that's historical precedent.
After World War II?
No, yeah. You
World
can
War
say
II.
after World War II, but that is historical precedence. That is on the books. So I feel that Kamala Harris, I think that she is a very intelligent and insightful person, and I think that she has very intelligent, insightful people.
But how would she respond? That's an
Well, it's hard
economy
to,
crash.
but I think that what she would do is she was enact democratic policies to keep if it crashed.
What do you mean democratic policies? The way a Democrat would, or the Constitution's Democrat?
Okay.
When you
listen.
say that,
Okay, when
I
I
want
say
to
that,
make
what
it
I-
clear to people out there that he's not saying the way a Democrat would do it versus a Republican. He's saying she would enact policies according to the Constitution's democracy expectations.
Oh, not only that.
Is that what you mean?
That's not only what I'm saying. What I'm saying is since Democrats have a polity that we are always, like when Obama left office, no, it's true. We were in the black. Hold on. You can shake your head. all
Barack
you want
Obama
to.
did great.
When
in
Clinton
certain
was
things.
when Clinton was in the office, hold on.
Clinton was garbage.
We were in the black. Do you realize that? When Obama and Clinton left, our economy was riding high. When Bush left and when Trump left, our economy went in the tank. Trump, when he left, $8.6 trillion of debt. $8.6 trillion.
What's the difference then?
The
What's
difference
causing
is policy.
What was the difference between Joe Biden and Trump? How did Joe Biden make that better?
Okay,
You're
that's
claiming that he made
that's
it better.
good. Because
How did Joe Biden make it better?
Because Joe Biden concentrated, one, he started to tax the rich, what Trump did when Trump took away taxes from the rich, it went to the middle class and to the poor.
Who have less money to put in.
Who has less money to put in. So we went to an $8.6 trillion. When Biden took over, he started taxing the rich again and started taking less money from poor people. And the upper middle class, like $400,000, over $400,000, he started to tax them more, and our economy went up.
So they were taxing corporations more than people.
Yeah, like for example, Google makes billions. Amazon makes billions of dollars, and he cut taxes to Amazon and to Google.
Who? Trump?
Trump did. It's a known fact that he did that. It's a known fact that the Republican Congress passed a bill giving tax breaks to the mega wealthy and taking money out of the poor and middle class.
Okay.
That's
awesome.
a known fact.
But let's go back to the caller's question.
That's what I'm answering right now.
You have to. Okay.
That's what I'm answering.
So you're telling me what Harris is going to do if the economy crashes?
The economy is not going to crash under Harris. One.
But if it does.
If it does, then she will enact that what Democrats do. They take less from the poor. They make programs in order for the poor.
So do you know what president started all that?
Yeah.
Prior to World War II,
Yeah.
who was his name? Or prior to World War II, who started all that? Taking from the rich to give to the sick. Thank you.
Right? Yeah, but
Correct.
It worked, right?
Yes, it did.
Okay, so that's
at the time.
Well, it's going to work now too.
So if we have
works.
if the Fed screw us up, and if the government has screwed up so bad that, and because of what other things that might cause it, you believe that the wealthy not only taxing, but more government on the wealthy will cause a buffer, so to say.
It already has, since Biden has taken, his administration has taken power. It already has. Biden has spent $4.6 trillion. Now check this out. 2.6 of that trillion dollars came in giving money back to the American people for COVID. So really, Biden has only spent $2.4 or $2.6 billion.
Okay, well put. Understood.
Okay.
Everyone at home, we will be hearing from
All right.
our Republican representative.
We're talking about the economy and what's going to happen between Trump and with Kamala. And what I want you guys out there is I want you to really just maybe close your eyes and just really think about this for a minute, okay? Forget what your TV is telling you. Oh my God, the economy is great, we're doing really good, we're fantastic, and the numbers are great. Let me ask you a question. When you go to the market, how much does $100 buy you now? Because I was there a couple of days ago. I went to Stater Brothers.
I only eat food. I don't eat everything there, so I don't even buy hardly anything outside of fruits and vegetables.
All right, great. Do you put gas in your car?
Yes.
Okay, gas is up 50%. It's double.
It is.
Okay, and have you looked at what the rents are right now?
Awful.
Okay, I would encourage you, go right now, go to Zillow, whatever city you're in right now, go look at what the rents are. Rents have gone up 50, 60, 70%. It's just something that's astronomical.
But
now,
it went up when Trump was in office, man.
The rents did not.
I think that's something that's beyond
The rents,
the president.
no.
The rent is.
Look at the percentage of the numbers of the rents. Remember.
Well, that would mean more government then.
Okay, hold on.
To regulate the owners.
We're just talking about the market right now. Let me just finish with the way that the economy is right now, and not the economy of what they're telling on the TV. What that person out there is feeling right now and what they're doing.
Okay.
Okay? Because like I say, I don't want to look at, this report, we're wonderful, because they're going to tell you we're great and we're wonderful. Where are you? How are you really doing out there? Right now, do you have that extra cash, that you had before? Out there, the credit card bills, credit card debt is high. Grocery prices, again, are high. You go to restaurants. I went this morning for breakfast up at Denny's here up at the corner. And my
you didn't invite me.
Well, I didn't know if you were busy.
It's all good. It's all good.
Busy, but next time I'll meet you down there.
I was busy.
I just wanted to be here.
It's a lot of
So I went out there. I got an omelet. The omelet was $16.75, and the coffee was almost $4. $20-something for myself. That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to Carl Jr. yesterday, and I said, "Oh my God, I want a superstar with cheese." Oh man, I want to get an onion rings with that. And I got there, $19.75 for a combo. Man, $19.75 for combo and 20-something dollars for breakfast. That's $40-something, and we're not even talking dinner. And those are the two lightest meals. And they're trying to tell us that, oh, this is a great economy. I don't know about you guys. I don't feel like it's such a great economy right now. And I can go into other things. We talked about the other day my electricity bill. My electricity bill the other day came in $800. Now, David, I know earlier when I got here, your air conditioning was off. Why was it off?
Because it costs too damn much.
Because it costs too damn much. Okay, electricity bills have.
Oh man,
they're just gone insane. Now, my car insurance doubled. I had to switch carriers, and I got some weird company now because
I want to mention
they're
something because what you're saying is wonderful. You're speaking empathetically
I'm
to
talking
the
facts,
common,
the reality,
to the common woman and man,
not what your
and
TV
child.
is telling you. What's
Right.
actually happening, down here now.
Now, don't forget we had a question from
the question is:
caller.
Is it going to be better under Trump or under Kamala Harris?
Well, no. She asked, "Do you think that the economy will crash within the next few years?"
Okay, I'm going to answer better. I think the economy has crashed.
I love it. I love what you just said.
All right, they're telling us that everything's wonderful.
I'm feeling what you said.
But that's why I wanted to go ahead and get into the detail. The economy has crashed. They're just telling us how wonderful it is because in election year, they're going to tell you what you want to hear.
I agree with you.
And the reality is that if you actually look at the numbers and what's really actually happening out there, man, I don't know. Now, we're in a very, 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 very lucky situation right now. And let me tell you why. Okay? Because objectively, if you look at the 4 years of Donald Trump and then you look at the 4 years of Biden and Kamala, okay? Now, between those two periods, was the economy better or stronger and under who? That's the first question I got for you guys. The second one,
Wow.
the foreign policy, there are more wars, less wars. Again, there are more there. And was there more stability here at home? Yes, there is.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, which of the 4 years would give you a better idea of the next 4 years? Not what I think, but what's happened, the actual facts of what's happened in the past. And at least for me, I know I was way, way, way better under Trump than what I've been having to go through with Biden-Harris.
So, what I'm glad you said that. Extremely important what you just said because it goes to the art of political atheism. I am the author of The Art of Political Atheism, everyone. Tuned in. The book will be re-released. I'm re-releasing it. I had some more to add to it because of the COVID and because of some things that have happened internationally and because the crypto and digital economy that's ushering in. So and then the fact that we are officially pretty much in World War III in the second Civil War here in the United States. So that's why I had to redo some things in the book. It will be re-released soon. But what he just spoke speaks to something that I spoke of in the book, The Art of Political Atheism. And what it is that from my perspective, a lot of what's going on is beyond who's the president and who's beyond which administration. And it's that the economy is a 1600 the 1600s economy. This world's economy was invented the way it's structured and still flowing. It was created in the 1600s in the early industrial age. So why should we still be in a global economy that's based off the 1600 development? That's obnoxious. The technology has evolved. Morality has changed. Trade habits have evolved and changed. Geographical borders have changed. Maritime law has changed. So I think that we're dealing with entropy. If the economy was to crash, to go to the caller's question, I think if it did crash, it would be based off of entropy because our world's economy is not only changing, but it's developing into being totally and completely dependent on digital. Not just digital like crypto, but everything is digital. If the internet was to crash right now globally and shut down for a month, our lives would be destroyed. You wouldn't have water. You wouldn't have anything. You understand? So he just spoke to that it's beyond the presidency. I just wanted to let you all know that we are aware of that, and if you're not aware of that, you need to become aware of that. But the presidency decision does have an extreme level of influence on all our lives. That administration who will take power will enact specific policies. And remember, policy is action and inaction. What you do and don't do is policy. Now back to what you were saying. And don't forget, we had a question.
I got the second question. And once you're ready, I'm ready for that one too. Because that one's definitely a good one here.
How will Trump deal with if the economy crashes?
Well, one of the things, first of all, here is, and this is that Trump policy that I have right here directly from his website, and they're talking about the crypto. It says Republicans will pave the way for future economic greatness by leading the world emergency industries and crypto. Republicans will end the Democratic unlawful and un-American crypto crackdown and opposes the creation of a central bank, a digital currency. We will defend the right to mine Bitcoin, on and on and on and on and on and on. Again, that's very progressive.
That's very important. It's very progressive in its reality. Everyone, that's very important. Okay. While they having their parties and all that, crypto and that's everything when it comes to the economy. It won't even be too long whether there's a World War III or not. You have to understand that everything is going that direction. And if XRP isn't official as United States cryptocurrency, it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be a big priority, and Donald Trump is leading in that, like it or not.
Okay. And so just to go ahead and close off on that, again, we're talking about the actual facts, not what I think, what somebody thinks, what the actual things were. The 4 years of Donald Trump versus the 4 years of Biden and Kamala. And we already know which one we were better up on.
Well, how will Donald Trump deal with the economy crash?
I have the answer for you. And this is, again, I just forgot what I was saying. The first thing that Biden did when he came in, other than the border stuff, which we'll talk about later, is he shut down the Keystone Pipeline. He stopped all the fracking, drilling, and he basically did a war against American energy. And if you remember, I know I live here in California. I don't know where everybody else is at. There was gas prices were up to $7 a gallon. Okay, now when gas goes up and doubles and triples, everything moves on gasoline. You're going to go ahead and, let's say, build this pencil. Well, the wood's got to come from somewhere. The lead comes from somewhere else. The little rubber things come from somewhere else. Everything gets shipped in, and it costs everything, and it increases everything. So it increases the price of every single item. And that is the worst thing. Now, not only did Biden shut down the Keystone Pipeline, what did he do? Oops. He opened and he approved the Russian Nord Stream pipeline to go ahead and give gas to Russia. So it was okay for Russia to go ahead and do it, but he shut down our pipeline. And that definitely affected the economy because it makes every single thing more expensive. I have a question.
Why would Biden do that if Russia attacked Ukraine and Biden is supporting Ukraine?
Well, this was way before that. And why was it? It was just stupid. Now, if you look at, there was...
so it gave them the power to attack.
Well, it didn't give them the power. It gave them the money to attack.
Because you are aware that manufacturing is who wins the war.
Correct.
Whoever
Absolutely.
Can manufacture. That's how you win the war.
Correct.
So
and
he
gave them the money.
Gas.
Okay, we go back to the same thing.
He gave them gas so they can manufacture.
He did the same thing with Iran. And he took off all the, what do you call it? The
tariffs. And
the restriction. I can't think of the word right now. Iran did not have money to do all this stuff. They were going broke, and now they got billions and billions and billions of dollars. They're selling oil and everything to China, everything. Before, when Trump has said, anybody who buys oil from Iran, boom, you're cut off, and we're not going to buy anything from you. Okay, and of course, we have the power to go and do that.
I'm in disagreement with such extreme because what happened if you push a mouse into the corner too much? Even if you're an elephant, you're in danger. So
the other option to that is give Iran the money. Look what's happening now. They're funding all these proxy wars all over the place because they have the money to do it now. They didn't have that before. They're going to have a nuclear weapon.
You don't think Saudi Arabia is behind some of that stuff?
I don't think not with Iran. I think Saudi Arabia is scared of Iran because remember.
Of course they are. They don't get along. But my point is, you don't think Saudi Arabia is behind any of that stuff going on? You think Saudi Arabia somehow is the special Arabs that aren't involved in all the Arab world? Like, they're the ones that got all the dough. Like, Iran got a lot of money too, but like, goodness, I just cannot just believe that
they may have
Iran is behind all those different factions of terrorists, or
As far as
different
I know, they're all
groups funding
supported
all
by
those groups.
Iran. So I don't know other than that. I mean, that's way beyond me.
Okay, well, we've
Should we go to the second one?
addressed the question from the
Should we go to
caller
the second
already.
question?
Yes, let's go for it.
Okay.
Please.
So I think the second question was, should they choose either Democrat or Republican as a VP?
Yes.
Okay. I think that would be interesting because I think it would bring the American people together. Okay. And again, I'm going to show you the difference from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party. Okay. So first of all, the Democratic Party. Joe Biden was going to go ahead and run in 2016, and he was pushed aside because Barack Obama wanted Hillary Clinton to go ahead and do it. Now, another person that was very strong was Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had a really strong following. He was pushed aside again, and they pushed Hillary Clinton also. Okay. Now, the same thing happened now. JFK, hardcore Democrat, the whole family, everything Democrat for many years. He wanted to go run. He wanted to do a primary. They didn't allow him to do a primary. They didn't do anything. So what did he have to do? He went in as an independent. So
Which
he ran
question are you addressing?
the vice president of being from a different party.
Okay.
That's what we talked about.
I was wondering why
And I'm
you
just
were
saying
going
the
so far back
inclusion
in time.
of this and
Okay.
that. And I'm just saying just the way the Democrats have not been into that policy. They've been kind of pushing everybody away. Okay. So then now, RFK, if you remember, a few weeks ago, he stopped his campaign. And he went to Kamala and he wanted to join Kamala's campaign and get his things that he wanted to get done. He wants to do things for children, for medical things and
She ain't
food.
messing with him.
She's not going to mess with him. She said no. Okay? He's basically a Democrat. He should have been there. Okay? Yet, what did he do? He went with Trump, and what did Trump say? Yep, absolutely, come, join my team. I'll go ahead and give you this, that. We'll get your policies. We'll look at it. So he's inclusive. He brought them in. Okay?
I see what you're
the
saying.
The next one that I'm saying here is Tulsi
Good
Gabbard.
point. Okay.
Tulsi Gabbard is one smart woman. When I saw Tulsi Gabbard many years ago, I said, man, this is one sharp Democrat. She's really good. But what did they do to her? Same thing. They pushed her out, and what did she do? Now she's backing 100% Trump. And Trump is bringing people together.
Yeah, but you know what? There's Republicans that are for Kamala also. That could go both ways right there. But I think Trump's just got more well-known and powerful Democrats and independents coming
Well,
behind him.
To finish off the
think-
question, I don't think it's a bad idea. It's kind of sad because the system that we have in the United States,
Yeah.
it's like these independents.
Because
Independence to
they
me
put
means
tradition first. They're not putting
Correct.
Adaptation. They're not putting necessity first. They're putting tradition. And
Yeah.
both the Democrat and Republican are trying to play that game because what's happening, it seems to me that it's elitism. It's those elites of those. That's their only wealth they have. See, Donald Trump had money on his own.
correct.
He didn't need the Republicans or Democrats. He's bringing money to them, whereas the rest of them are just politicians. The only reason they live in those big elite houses and part of these groups is because of their position. So they give more care about each other ultimately as elites than they do about their masses of people. And I think they're keeping the administrative state and keeping their electoral practices stagnate and based on those traditions, because that's the only way they're going to stay in pocket. If they allow advocacy and change of the way that elections are done and the way that they operate their Republican and their Democratic structures, then it's going to take them out of power and it's going to put more young people in power. And I think that's why they're shitting on everybody, shitting on the American people. Personally,
Yeah. So I think it's a good idea. Just in closing, I just don't know if it's going to go ahead and work. But to somewhat aspect, I think it's good
you
to
mean
go and do
it's
that.
a good idea
I think it's a good
for
idea
a
to bring in the other
Republican to
parties to bring in
choose?
everybody and kind of bring everybody together. I think it's a good idea. I just don't know if
Yeah.
it'll work, but I wouldn't mind looking into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that Trump did is he spoke at the Libertarian Convention for the Libertarians. That was a very
I know.
hostile. That was a very
That's
hostile
crazy.
crowd, and they were booing, they were yelling. Some people were cheering or whatever, but he was a very, very, very hostile. But that's again, he's trying to.
He's
he told
trying to
them,
do the
hey,
American
look,
thing,
if you go
yeah.
ahead and support me and don't put up a candidate up, I will put one of the libertarians on my what do you call it?
Decision to make decisions.
Yeah,
to help influence
to
decisions.
go ahead and do it. And that's what I'm saying. He tries to bring everybody together. With the Democratic Party, absolutely not. It's there, and it's their shot. And basically, they are looking right now, the way I see it, is they want the puppet. They had the puppet that was Biden for 4 years, and then now the new puppet is Kamala.
Okay.
You heard it yourself. Well put. Well put. We're going to hear from Mr. Wade because it is his turn to mash the place up. Let's mash the place up, everybody. Feeling yourselves? You haven't called in. Alley Cat called in. We had one caller today. We got some numbers here on the David Dimitri Live in Color YouTube. We're on David Dimitri Live in Color on YouTube. And we're on Elwoo on YouTube. And we're on Instagram live right now. And you just heard Mr. Nadeem Mustafa speak his terms on the questioning that the caller in asked. Wade already spoke on it, but he's going to go in a rebuttal. Let's hear it. Go for your rebuttal.
20 minutes.
Go for it.
All right.
And I'm going to have to cut that to 10 because I have to go into the question. I have these
I'm
couple,
gone.
and you're going to love them.
I'm gone.
You're going to love these questions.
I'm gone.
You leaving?
Oh, yeah, bro. You gave him 20, 25 minutes.
Get 20 minutes. Take
Nah,
it.
I'm
No?
good.
All right.
I'm good.
All right, guys, I guess.
You go with the white boy. You let me sit there like a fool and listen to everything that he said. You didn't let me say anything. You cut me off each and every time for him, but you let him rattle. I'm good, bro.
I didn't bring any racism into this, and I didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything
And
either.
I was very respectful. I let him speak.
I think he was respectful too. I think it just patience.
But it's okay. Well, I guess he picked up his toys
Well,
and he left.
and World's Debate, like I had to do World's Debate. Oh man, it's brutal. You have to sit. You have to wait. You have to wait till
David,
people speaking.
I am not a debater. I've never debated in my life. I don't do this for a profession. And this is, like I say, that I did it the other day with you, and this is the second time I've ever done with this. So I don't have experience in doing this. I am just an American that really cares about my country and about my family and the future of this country.
I
and
think
that's why I dedicate the time to go ahead and do
he
it.
cares about the country too.
I agree. It's just
when
that the
I
hate-
interviewed him before, and he was very impatient with other people when it comes to anything that he's emotional about, and that's an individual, personal thing. And I think that's the lesson for anybody chiming in, that patience is a thing that's circumstantial, and it's not a matter of whether a person is mature or not. Everybody can have an area of their life where they're impatient. You learn that in mediation and conflict management, and I think that for specific things like this, everybody don't get to speak about it a lot. I learned that in World's Debate. So when some people finally get to speak about politics, it's an explosive matter for them. And so that patience is almost out the door for them when it comes to politics.
It's tough.
And that's why I'm a political atheist. And that's why you get the book, Political Atheism, and give them to your teenage relatives so they can learn the easy way instead of the hard way. Because I put all that in there. And you just seen a man run off in anger because, and he made some very extreme valid points that made me respect Kamala Harris more than I did before. And then he even made me realize that it wouldn't matter whether Trump and Kamala Harris became president when it comes to specific strategies, because it's really about the intelligence agencies and the military. They got to really ultimately give the reports and bring the information to the leader and say this is what really needs to be done. It's not really about the decision of the president. He made me realize that. Wade did. So let's give props to Wade. Everybody got the right to have their level of patience, and he did great, and we honor his service to the United States of America, and we honor his contribution to the discussion. And like I said, there was no winner or no loser, and he, as you've seen, did a lot of talking and had full periods of time of speaking, and he was listened to, and it got to be equality, and he felt it wasn't, but we all know the truth.
Well, just to finish off this and go ahead and move on, and I'll challenge you. I'm gonna wager you $1.
Okay.
Those are my wagers.
Okay.
That last conversation that I did, I don't think it was 20 minutes. So
Nah,
I'll wager you $1 because I don't think it was 20 minutes.
It wasn't.
And then the second thing is I'll wager you another $1. And if you look at the whole podcast, let's see how long he spoke versus I spoke. I think it's going to be pretty even.
Yeah, about even, because I finally started letting you do a lot of talking, or you wanted to do more talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he that's what the issue is when you do these discussions and someone doesn't, they want to do them.
Yeah.
But they don't got a platform to do them. When they finally get to do them, it's like an explosion for them.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I have zero experience in doing any debates whatsoever. I never did them in high school, never did them other maybe my ex-wife says I know how to argue, but other than that doesn't count. But like I say, I don't have any experience doing any debates. The only thing I did have a little bit of experience was in civil trials and stuff like that on financial things. And I learned, I mean, even with my divorce or whatever, you go, and when you're in court, you can't interrupt the judge. You have to shut up. When it's not your turn to talk, it's not your turn to talk. So that's exactly from my experience from that. I was quiet. I took my notes on what I wanted to respond, and when it was my turn, then I responded. Sometimes it's hard because you don't take all the notes, and you forget, and you miss a point.
Okay, but yeah, let's move on. So like I said, hope everybody that Democrat or Republican got to hear some good and great points that Wade pointed out. Like I said, I think it was very important what Wade was talking about the strategies on ground over there in those military zones that our country is giving a lot of money to for whatever reasons. I feel like personally, our government is letting us know by having Kamala Harris, Biden, and Donald Trump as our options that no matter what, it's going to be bad. I just feel like, two choices of two 80-year-old men when there's plenty of men around, great minds in that government that could have been running for president. And then now you got a woman that really has been hidden in plain sight and did everything right when it comes to legally, but there are better leaders in the government than Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, if you ask me. And the government is saying, no, nobody else is good enough because we have a goal. We have an agenda. And these are the two people that we're going to allow to represent our government as the lead figurehead. Other than that, no. You guys aren't going to get anybody that be any more effective than them, because effectiveness is important. So I am a spiritual devotee, but yet I wanted to say something to people that are spiritual on here that saw me as a spiritual person. Like, why is he talking about and involving himself in politics? I not only studied political science, international humanitarian law, political economy, and all that. I studied it in Africa, in Europe, and United States. But one thing I found weak about a lot of people that call themselves being spiritual is a weakness that's not in Rastafari. Rastafarians stand up for justice. That's the great thing about Rastafarians. So they don't call themselves being spiritual and then just want to get online doing yoga to get followers. Just want to go. Before there were social media, just wanted to do yoga. Meanwhile, they walk by people that's starving and struggling and don't care about them. That's real bad with these so-called spiritualists out here. And so all my life, especially as an adult, I looked at them and I looked down on people that call themselves being spiritual. Because I know for a fact they ain't doing shit for nobody in need. They think because they reading books and isolating themselves and doing this and making themselves look groovy, making themselves look African and indigenous, making themselves look Asian and indigenous, trying to make themselves look like an islander and all this different stuff. Well, come to the fact of the matter, we can't find nobody you did a damn thing for the last 4 years, 5 years. And if you're not having sex with them, you don't want to have nothing to do with them. You know, if you ain't living, getting something from them, you don't want to have nothing to do with them. But you spiritual? Hold on, let me ask you again. You spiritual? Then you got the people that's totally political, totally materialistic. They don't have no spirituality in them either. And this is what's going on. There's an imbalance in this world. You see, there's an imbalance in this world. And so we need to fix these imbalances. So politics is where you deal with justice. So everybody that call themselves just getting high and being spiritual and all this stuff, you know, people be needing y'all help, man. Y'all need to cut this, all that out and get active toward helping people some way, somehow. Seriously. You know, trying to play like they too spiritual to give a damn about what's going on in the world. Like, you walk around here blanking the world out, meanwhile people you could have been helping them. All these people trying to tattoo the inside of their nose and tattoo the inside of their ass crack and shit. Don't nobody give a fuck about your tattoos. Why don't you help somebody in need? All that little, you know, they too damn fashionable that they can't help nobody. You too much into fashion. You too musical. You too much into music. Like, come on, man, help people. You know, help people you don't know that's in need. There's people with more poor people in this world than there are people doing good. So, yeah, I just had to put that out there. Because I help people all the time. I'm always doing something. It's none of your business how. Because I'm not supposed to be saying it, but I got to because I need people to get with the program. So if you give donations to me, no, it's to help people. If we can get this off the ground, this live streaming, it's not just going to be about, in fact, you'll hardly ever hear me talk about politics like this. I'm just taking advantage of the time that it's the presidential election. But actually, if you look at my social media, I'm a spiritual person. You know what I mean? But I'm real quiet on social media because I'm not happy with how people is too selfish out here, man. But they want to get credit because of their look, because of their ethnicity and all this stuff. Well, won't you do something for somebody? Yeah.
Should we do immigration or something else, or what do we do?
We keep talking about the, you can get your last pieces in about the election and, you know, who you want and what you want to talk about. We're still here. Let's talk about it.
Okay. Again, man, there's so many topics, so many different things that we can go ahead and cover.
Yeah.
That it's definitely not easy, but I think a really important one is going to be immigration. If we don't have a southern border, we don't have a border, we don't have a country. And then again, here we're sending $200 billion to Ukraine to protect their border, and yet we won't protect our own border here. I think that's a shame. I think we need to take care of our border also.
I wish he was here to talk about the border thing because it's a disgrace, but it's a reality check that no matter what, people are going to be trying to cross that border over here illegally.
I understand, I understand crossing the border, and I always say, man, it would be so difficult to be able to be a border patrol officer because it would break my heart. I mean, I'm a good person, and how do you turn somebody away? And that's not, I'm not against legal immigration. Mm-hmm. I'm just against illegal immigration, and that is the thing that the news media never talks about. Oh, the newcomers and this and that, but they don't talk about the illegal. There's laws. If you don't like the laws, change them.
Yeah, I think it's been going on so long, which just like the Israel Palestinian thing, it's beyond the politicians in office. I don't allow myself to.
I think it was done purposely.
I think the one person I think that dealt with it the best was Donald Trump because he wasn't under nobody control. So he said, you know what, fuck this. Keep your asses over there unless you do it the right way.
Okay.
And because we already got enough of y'all over here eating off our plate, and some of you guys messing our plate up, and The catch is, for me, the catch is this, the 80s and the 90s, specifically upper class Americans were getting all their cocaine from people trafficking the cocaine over here, which were a majority illegal immigrants. And I think the more important thing to those generations, the Reagan generation and the Clinton generation, was to get their cocaine. They didn't really care about the border. And we can't just blame these people in office, this and this. But they are keeping that legacy going.
Yeah, but
like Biden has kept that legacy of let the cocaine flood in. Probably because Biden is hiding that he's a cokehead because his son's a cokehead. Am I lying? Is his son a cokehead?
Well,
His son's a cocaine.
Hopefully, supposedly, he's not anymore. But,
you get what I'm pointing. Like
I know.
It's well said that Bill Clinton was a big cokehead. So, what I'm saying is, it seems like Donald Trump was like, we're going to kill that legacy.
Yeah.
Whereas,
well, Trump since day one, it was build the wall, immigration, this, that. And as a matter of fact, the interesting thing is you look at, there's an interview with Donald Trump, I think it was like 1985, with, I forgot her name.
1985, Oprah.
With Oprah. And he talks about the same exact thing, the border, the immigration, how other countries are taking advantage of us. And like I said, his things had not changed. He's been the same since ever. He's always talked about the same. And I would encourage you, go to YouTube and look for the interview with Oprah and Donald Trump. It's amazing because he looks really, really young. He looks like a young kid, but he's talking about the same things. And that's what I'm saying, when you talk about what you're saying about loyalty and this and that with Kamala, come on, man. She's changing flip-flops every single time and panders to whatever, whatever, and she'll do whatever it is to get elected. Trump says things that are really unpopular, but he says them. He says them, and he does it. But now, just going back to immigration, because there's a million things on the immigration. And again, I'm not against illegal immigration. It's just legal. We talked about last time a little bit about my mother, who is an immigrant to this country, and she came from Cuba. She was 15 years old. The entire family left and came to Miami, came to Florida, and she was the last one to come. And then the Cuban embargo came, and they shut it off, and she was stuck in Cuba where her whole family had left. Now, family had money. They could have taken a little boat 90 miles from Key West to Havana. They could have picked her up and brought her here illegally, but no, they didn't. What they had to do is they shipped her in 1964 all the way to Spain, and then she applied to come into the United States through Spain. And again, if you think about it, a 16-year-old girl in 1960 on a propeller plane or whatever, to have to go by herself all the way to Spain could not have been an easy experience. But she did it, and she did it the legal way. And that's just what I'm saying. There's legal ways of doing things, and that's the way I think we should follow the law. Now, there's different things that people are doing it legally, and then now, they're getting pushed aside because they can't process those applications because they're too busy. And then they're too busy. Why? Because they're too busy processing all the illegal people. That's not fair. That's not fair.
There's no excuse for me. I don't think there's any excuse that the border thing is still going on like this. I feel like the United States government and administrative state let the people down. I feel like, I think it had to do with whoever government, whatever, not only presidential, but the CIA and FBI were allowing it because of the cocaine. I believe that they were allowing. I'm not even going to go back to the past. I wasn't going to go to the gold standard. I wasn't going to all this bunch of stuff because I want to talk about what's happening right now. And what's happening in the last 8 years. Because I wanted to jump into that, but I couldn't do it earlier. I Googled it and stuff. I looked at the years. I'm like, why are we talking about all this stuff but regardless, anyways, the way I look at it right now, the border was the most secure border. I have the numbers here from the CBP website right here. And it was the most secure border probably ever. Trump had it. He had the Remain in Mexico policy. He had the Mexican government given I don't know how many thousands of military guys to watch the border from the Mexican side, and also closing off the border at the Guatemala side at the bottom. Because yes, there is a wall on the Guatemala side. So it's just not a wall for us. Mexico also has their own wall. What's the first thing that Biden did? Stop the construction of the wall. There was lots and lots of miles of fencing that was there just ready to put up. He stopped it, and it's rotting there in the desert right now. You can go ahead and look on YouTube, and you can see it was stopped. Biden and Harris, I have never cared enough. I'm a political atheist at heart, and I never cared enough to vote Republican because it wasn't right. But I have been completely like, man, this is disgusting. And the biggest deal with me was how they dealt with Ukraine, how they dealt with Israel, and how they before that, it was, I don't even know how to express this to you. I have not seen nothing this bad in the United States of America since September 11th, 2001. I'm gonna say that again. Everybody, let me turn this up. I have not seen anything this bad as what President Joe Biden and his administration, and Kamala Harris was part of that administration, and I disagree with Wade. She is fully to be held responsible for plenty of what's been going on with this presidency with Joe Biden. This is, I don't even understand if you know what I personally went through with cartel members harassing me, threatening me, running me out of neighborhoods. Do you know I would have I had to sell so much equipment to get this place because I had to jump up and move because a cartel member was completely controlling where I was living, had all the men under a spell of cocaine addiction, was having sex with the mothers and the daughters of the men that were addicted, was getting men beat up and this, and I didn't show him no respect because he was a racist and he tried to disrespect me because I lived in an apartment above him. But God showed him. And I told those dudes, I called them, I said, let's go in the back and scrap. None of them wanting to go head up with me. I said, I'll scrap with all three of y'all right now. None of them. No matter what, they wouldn't scrap. So basically they was coming down to they wanted to do gunplay or they wanted to set me up to get locked up or something or kicked out. And so my point is the cartels are off the hook in Southern California. Gavin Newsom, hold on. Could you let him in? That's I just texted him and I told him to come back. Like, he's gonna come back in. So Gavin Newsom, you made some big. I supported you, man. I supported you, Gavin Newsom. I liked a lot of what you did, Gavin Newsom. But for you to turn a blind eye, Mr. Gavin Newsom, to what these cartel people are doing in Southern California specifically, that's what fucked me up. I have never, ever thought to vote for Republicans until of late. And I never liked it, Donald Trump, because of his narcissism. But when I seen the narcissism in Kamala Harris, and it has nothing to do with her running, this was before the elections. This is before her even, I voted to support them to become president because I felt Trump needed a break, not because everything he was doing was wrong. I just felt like we needed a break because I felt like the racism was off charts and being advocated by Trump. I'm not gonna keep that hidden from my friend here, but I just want to say what went on, what has been, so I feel like Harris, Biden, and so many don't understand how racist these cartel members are to black people. They're completely oppressive toward black people. These people coming, not the normal people from that are illegal or legal coming from Central and South America, not at all. I'm talking about the cartels are cold-blooded. You don't have to be in a gang. Long as you are black, these cartel members are just ready to kill. What did black people do to cartel? Nothing. And that's what I feel like the Democrats are turning a blind eye to, but Trump is trying to help us. He even speaks about it publicly.
I'm going to expand it, okay? Because, I mean, look what's happening in Aurora, Colorado right now. These gang members are taking over the apartment buildings. Look at in New York. There was, 4 Venezuelan guys that beat up.
Thank you for coming back.
That beat up
And you
two
can join
New York
in.
police
In fact,
officers.
I'm done talking. All right.
You know, and they don't even respect a police officer. Look at over up in Georgia, you know, and then Lake and Riley, they killed her.
Well, it's
Another-
been going on with
But
these.
not
with
to the
these,
amount.
Not the amount.
Not to the amount. Now, the ironic thing is, as I told you before, I have a girlfriend who lives in Venezuela.
Oh,
She
yeah,
lives in a
we,
area.
hold on. Let's all give
immigration.
props to our king man right here, Wade, for coming back. And he had to go get his paperwork. Actually, he was telling me he'd been trying to get me to allow him to go get it, and I kind of ignored him, so that I kind of caused the problem. So I want to apologize like I was. I've been apologizing for 10 minutes because I was telling everybody, you already had your paperwork. You've been trying to tell me you had to go get something because you had some very special information that you had did a lot of research to bring. And I was so caught up trying to speak and allow him, Nadeem, to speak, that I was ignoring Wade, and I exaggerated the whole situation. It was really my fault completely, and I apologize. And we are ready to hear and see your. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold your pictures from your research and speak some of your links to the people. But first, we want you to introduce it and talk about it. But I want to tell you also what we're speaking of. We're talking about the immigration issues, and we really need you to speak about your perspective, because I know, man, you already came to a lot of agreements on those immigration issues, like, because our community is especially harmed from it with the cartels. So we're ready to hear you out, Wade.
On the immigration?
Oh yeah, definitely. We need you on that one, because that's some serious shit. We're all affected harmfully by that. Our economy is, but people are. I told you reason why. Remember, I told you about it months ago how the reason why I ended up moving here is because they robbed me. Not that they were specific cartels, but the guy was running around there talking about he was cartels, a 50-something, 60-year-old man who was distributing the cocaine, and he was controlling all the men there. And I wasn't a drug addict, so he couldn't control me, but I lived above him. So he was picking at me and always keeping hostility. And so I just told him, like, look, man, I already know I could fuck you up. Why don't you just, get your homies? And I told his homies, why don't you just come back here and scrap with me? I kept asking them, because he's being racist toward me. I don't give a fuck if he have a cartel and this, just didn't fucking kill me. Because I ain't with this little crybaby shit. Y'all supposed to be gangsters and shit, and let's go in the bag. You know what I'm saying? I kept asking him, and then one of them stood up to him, so he got real hateful toward me. And they had some guys come over and threaten me. So, it became a huge situation. So I had to sell cameras and equipment to suddenly move. I had to buy out a fucking lease contract. So he caused me a big loss. Now I can go take it out its fucking ass, you know what I'm saying, and play Rambo, but they gonna lock me up for the next 20 years of your life for taking out some goddamn criminals. You know what I mean? But that's how bad some of the people are that's being allowed to come over here illegally, because they already caught up in a total criminal mentality. But when you that way over here, they'll lock your ass up if you American, regardless of your race, creed, or color. But they letting people come over here from some people are letting, not all. And so, let's talk about that. It's Wade's turn. Wade is back.
So are we talking about the policies?
We can get into that too. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Immigration policies, the Congress voted on the strongest immigration bill that has ever been adopted in American history.
Okay, tell us about that. Tell us
Who
about it.
stopped it?
That was at the beginning of Biden's.
This
couple
year.
months ago.
This year?
This year.
This year.
Who stopped it?
Didn't the Senate stop it, or the Congress?
Trump stopped it.
How'd he stop it? He's not
Trump
the
told
president.
them, after they voted 486-1 on the immigration bill, or was it 3? I forgot what it was, but it was like over 3/4. Trump came back and told his followers, and it is recorded, do not vote for the bill. Vote for it again and put it down. And let me tell you what he said. He said this on national television.
Damn.
If the problem is solved while Biden is in, then he will get the credit. wait until I become president and then vote for it again and I'll sign it.
Is this
he
true?
said it himself.
That's fucked up.
Stop.
I
Okay.
saw it right on television, and then the Democrats came on and said, and Biden said, this is the most comprehensive bill in United States history, and the MAGAs in Congress voted it down because Trump told them to. Now, you want to know why we got a problem with the border? Is because the Republicans said the Republicans would not, they voted for it to go to the floor. When it got to the floor, Trump said,
Let me hold it up.
Trump said, quash it.
Squash it.
And
And what year was this? That was this year.
That was this
that
year.
was a couple of
6
months ago.
months.
And
already.
everybody, hold on, and
Okay.
everybody out
I'm
there
gonna give you a
that's listening to my voice know that what I'm saying is true.
The camera picking you up right there. You can look at it.
Knowing what I'm saying is true. Trump quashed it. Now, that bill had billions of dollars for border control, even had money in there to build the walls, had money in there to hire more judges. Yes, it did.
I need to respond.
Yes, it did.
Okay, we're
It
gonna
had
have to let him
money
get
in there.
at least a little response.
I got you. It had money in there to open up more courtrooms. And Trump said, squash it. And they did. So you want to know what's going on with immigration? The Republicans and Trump, the MAGA people do not want it solved right now.
Because
Because if
Biden,
it does, it'll go to Biden.
yeah.
And Trump said it himself. And anyone who says
I remember that now.
anyone who says Trump didn't say it is a liar.
Okay, let's get
No.
You
Anyone.
want something to drink? I gotta go grab something. Respond.
I want to respond, but
Go
no,
ahead.
I need you here.
Okay, no
All
problem.
right. So first of all, he said it was 483 to 1. If it was 483 to 1, it would have passed. Okay, because Trump is not in the Senate, he's not in the House. So don't even go there. Okay,
Didn't I
because
say
you're
to
making
get to the
stuff up.
floor?
Where he said he influenced.
What's that?
To
He
get
said
to
he
the
influenced.
floor.
Okay.
To
First
get to
of
the
all,
floor, it was 400
I have-
something.
let me- it's
That's
my
what I
turn
said.
now. It's my
no,
turn.
No, you misquoted.
You guys
Don't
speak to
misquote
the
me.
crowd.
Don't
Please.
misquote me.
Speak
all
to the
right.
audience.
So first of all, if it was 483 to 1, it would have passed, and it didn't pass. But anyways, that's besides the point.
No, it
Now,
didn't.
first of all,
483 to get
are
to
you
the
gonna
floor.
Gotta let
No,
him-
hold on. He's misquoting me. Don't misquote me. You didn't want me to misquote you. Don't misquote me.
Okay,
How
but
many
we're
people?
getting
They
too
go ahead and
high.
I got that, but
It's
don't
not that
misquote
big
me.
a deal.
Go ahead and repeat it.
It's
Go
Don't
not
ahead.
that
misquote
big
me.
of a deal.
Don't
To
get
get
your
to
shorts on
the
now.
floor. That's what I said. Because it was 483. If it got to the floor in 483, it's over 3/4, and the president must sign it.
I got a
Let
question
let
for you.
everybody hear that.
I got a question for you.
Okay, now let him speak.
Okay. First of all, Biden inherited the most secure border probably in 30, 40 years. Who broke the border? Who took the remain in Mexico policy? And if you look at, there's a YouTube video with Mayorkas who is in charge of it, and he talks about that they did 26 executive actions to overturn the Trump policies. Okay, now that bill, if you look at it, set a limit of 5,000 people per day, and I actually have it right here. I can go ahead and get it for you here in a minute. 5,000 people per day. So why can't they stop it at 1, at 100, at 200, 5,000? So you're going to sign and you're going to
Hold
agree
on.
that you're going to
They're
let
letting
5,000, and
5,000
after once you get
a day?
5,000 a day, then
Hold
they
on.
shut the border down.
Oh,
okay?
that's the southern border alone?
Southern border.
How about the
5,000.
boats coming from
Hold
the
on,
Caribbean?
Hold on. I'm not even going there because I'm not. So 5,000
Man,
people
no
per
wonder
day
I can't get a gig.
times 5,000 times 365. That's like 2 million people. Okay. Who broke that? Biden broke it. Now at the end, because it's an election year, oh my God, now he worries about the election. He wants to go ahead and fix it. Kamala was the border czar. Did she even go to the border? No. And if you look at the YouTube, she even says, oh, but I haven't even been to Europe either. Europe, she's in charge of it. They didn't do anything. Biden broke the border. Okay, that bill.
I have a question.
Okay, but I'm not done. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you deserve to keep speaking.
5,000 people per day. That's $2 million there. 2 million people there. Okay. In addition to that, the Biden administration is actually flying in on airplanes directly into the United States. We got 386,000 people flown into, and then here it breaks it down. You can look at all the states and everything that they're bringing them in. Okay, so now they're not even going through the border; they're getting on the plane to come over.
Hold! They giving them plane rides over here?
Plane rides now. I'll give you
For
better.
what? What are they doing? Why do they deserve
I'm going to
it?
give you something better. Okay, the Biden administration has done. If you look at right here, I'm going to leave this here for you. Okay, this is here. You can go ahead. And
This
look.
sounds like some shadow government shit.
No,
This
no,
sounds
no.
like this
Look
is
at
beyond Biden.
Here's the Play Store.
This
The App
sounds like
Store
it's beyond whoever's the
and the Google
president.
Play Store. If you look at,
I don't believe that this is if this shit is true, that they're flying undocumented immigrants by the thousand into the United States and then allowing 5,000 people daily or more daily to come across the border. It sounds to me like there's some shadow government shit going on here. I'm gonna go beyond the president, who's the president, because this is some crazy sounding shit. Like none of you Americans that took loans and got your scholarships and studied and are gonna get a job, because we got a whole nother population to replace your asses. That's what that sounds like to me. This sounds like we're flying these motherfuckers over and we're letting these people over here because, and it don't matter who the president is. It sounds like this is beyond, what I'm saying, it don't sound like Biden should get blamed for this shit or Trump. It sounds like to me, as a political atheist, this is a hidden agenda by a shadow government. I'm not a AIC backwards. I'm not the IBF backwards. I'm just saying, this shit sound like somebody's telling the presidency and their administration what the fuck to do. Because this sound like it's above who the president is. I didn't mean to interrupt the debate, but I just had to vent that. Okay. This is some above government shit to me. 5,000 a day? Hell no. Turn your ass back around and go get a job in your own country.
Not even that.
That's what I'm going to say. And I'm going to say,
they are not
only that,
5,000
who the hell
people a
gonna
day
say?
in.
I don't think
They're
they
not.
is.
They're
And then
not.
you know what?
10 to 15,000.
No, it
They're
even.
not.
But this Arab people being flew over here.
No,
You're not the
they're
first
not.
person that told me this. I heard Democrats say that there are immigrants being flown over here from Central America also, and from Philippines and from the Caribbean. And these people,
Philippines.
why are you flying these people here? Why are you bringing these people here is my thing. We already got people that have taken loans out that can work the jobs. So it just is
Hold on. The 5,000 people are being processed a day. Hold on, because you're wrong.
Yeah, where are they coming from?
You're wrong. Hold on. Wait a minute. This MAGA.
Okay, process makes sense.
This MAGA crap that's being put out on the line. You can't allow someone just to walk across the border. They are stopped at the border. They are processed. If there is a family member, and this has been going on for decades, they will allow the family members to come and get them. But hold on.
Oh, I see.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
But are they processing them to come to America?
Okay. Each month there are 300,000 contacts with I'm not gonna call them illegal aliens.
With human beings coming here, they're not American, United
Human
States
beings
citizens.
trying to get into New York.
They're not
Human
citizens.
beings. Now,
Illegals
now
broke
let
the
me
law.
tell you something. No, they're not illegal because they're trying to get
illegal
in
and they broke
legally.
the law.
They're trying to get in legally. So they're
So
not.
you're talking about the
against
legals
law.
now. So you're
Yeah,
talking
So
about
don't
the
do
legal.
that. Don't do that. Don't
So
do
you're
that.
talking
Illegal
about,
aliens.
yeah, but we were talking about the illegals.
Yeah,
so he's just saying.
but his information saying that the United States is allowing 5,000 people to, I don't care what that says, that's MAGA.
Well, like, when
Because
he-
you
MAGA
don't wanna see the
lies,
facts.
MAGA lies.
This is directly. This is directly from the customs.
Hold on,
That is
talking
not-
loud ain't gonna
It was
help.
my
from
turn,
either
I was
side.
talking.
Okay, no,
I know,
but
but-
you're
my
wrong.
turn now.
The information
Okay,
that you're
we
giving
heard
out
that
is
he's wrong.
incorrect.
So listen,
5,000
everyone,
processed.
U.S. citizenship and
US,
immigration.
yeah,
Okay,
that's
so this
immigration. That's directly to the
process for
website.
Cubans,
I encourage
Asians,
everybody to
Process.
go to the website.
Okay,
Process.
hold on. Let me let them know what this is. Everyone. He just handed me a U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services document that is directly from their website. It's called Process processes for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans specifically. The U.S. government may grant advance travel authorizations to 30,000 non-citizens each month to seek parole on a case-by-case basis under the processes for Cuban, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and
30,000 every
Venezuelans.
month.
30,000?
Flying them indirectly.
Hold on. United States advanced travel authorization. Hold on.
That's
and
not what
then
he's saying.
it says it right here. The United States government may grant may grant
Thank you.
authorization. Okay, and then right here it says, who are you? Select travel.
Let me explain
Select
what it is. Can I explain what it is?
So that means if it's 30,000 that may, that means at least 5,000 they are.
No, that's not 5,000 a day.
That's in addition to.
That's not 5,000 a
There's
day.
also 386,000 that they're flying
That's
in
not
directly. They're not
5,000
even
a
going to the
day.
border.
That's
Well,
process.
one
Let me
thing I
finish.
see, something I want you guys to know. I think you guys both agree that we're having this is a problem. I don't think you guys are really in
The
disagreement.
problem here is I don't get a chance to talk.
I think you guys are in.
I haven't been able to
No,
finish
no,
here.
but you putting out
Well, he
wrong
just
information.
finished.
It's
No,
right
It's
here.
process.
Let's not.
Okay, put out the right information. Process. Say
USCIS,
process.
that's the
Now,
government.
if you
That's
say
the
process,
government.
you're
Well, I
right.
already let them know.
If you say you process,
I read
you're
it
right.
directly to him. Yeah, but
Is it my turn yet or no? Or is it just? Or is
But just
it
don't put
just
on the wrong information.
Well,
bro.
he
United States and Immigration Services, UCIS. That is who does all the visas and everything. If you didn't know,
process.
okay. Also, what do they
They're
do? They do it for their
processing.
entertainment.
They're
Or what is
processing.
it?
So hold on, you
Okay,
guys.
I
Let
need
me
to finish. I need to
understand.
finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Let them finish.
I need to finish. Okay.
And you're understood. I
believe
think
me.
I'm looking at.
Okay.
They understand you. So you don't make it personal because you
Well,
already.
I'm not making it personal.
Everybody
I hate
understands.
somebody giving out wrong information.
Okay,
bro.
well,
I don't have anything against him.
We're reading it.
I have something
He's-
against the
he's reading
information.
this. He's reading this. So if they put the wrong
Okay, you let me know when it's
information,
my
you're
turn.
mad at them.
But
You let
no,
me know
they're
when it's my
saying
turn.
process 30,000. They can process up to 30,000.
Okay.
Up to.
Okay.
It didn't say it processed 30,000.
You let me know
It
Okay,
says it can
so we
process
already
up to
understood that.
30,000.
We already
No,
been
it's my
checked
turn.
about
Right.
that.
Exactly.
So we're not. Come on, because you can't keep repeating it.
Yeah, but
You're
he's
being
getting back on the
emotional.
microphone and
It's
saying,
a discussion. That's the
turn,
whole
yes.
basis of it. It's a conversation.
I speak,
It's his
then
turn.
you
If you
speak.
don't want-
I speak,
then
then,
we-
you speak. That's how conversation works.
I know, but I'm telling him. So if you want, we're gonna have to allow it to be his turn, your turn.
That's
and
fine.
you can't keep getting so upset.
I'm not upset. I don't like when people put out the
I know,
wrong
but you're being
information. I hate that MAGA information stuff. I hate it because
Yeah,
it's filled
but
with
that's not
lies
MAGA. This
and
is
half
from
truths.
the website.
I know.
And then you did check him about the way he said it wasn't exactly how they said it.
Exactly,
But yeah, but you
process.
keep repeating it. You
The
keep
reason why
you
because
already.
he keeps repeating it.
No. He's.
He didn't.
has
He
to-
never changed from process to allow.
I did when I read it.
I know, but he did.
Well, don't worry about that. They got it, the truth from me.
All right.
You being emotional. You can't. You're supposed to be emotional. That sounds stupid. You're supposed to be emotional, but you taking it kind of like too combative. It's not that serious. You gotta trust that. You gotta remember this ain't between us. It's an audience, and they get it. But if they're gonna lose, you're gonna lose them if you feel like you're losing and then over respond. You're over responding. They get it. They know you're right. But you gotta let them know that you know them right by relaxing and knowing that they heard you. Don't worry about it. He already your opposition. You gotta worry about. And remember, this is for you to know in the future in dealing with these debate things. The audience is more important than your opposition. Don't give them that much power. Don't give the opposition that much power. Know that you got an audience. They gonna filter. So you pointed out that he was wording it in a way that, and then I read it to them the exact word. Boom, that validates you. Not you checking him. That the way, but we needed you to point out exactly the way it is. And we're grateful that you did. But you gotta give yourself some props and calm down and let this audience realize that you realize the truth.
I apologize. I just can't stand MAGA.
You got it.
Okay, here we go.
Not
It's
my
your
turn
turn,
now?
yeah.
Okay, he can't stand MAGA. Okay, yet, well, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, don't go there.
Okay, First of all, I'm going to challenge everybody. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Don't believe me, okay? Go to the USCIS website, which is the government website, okay? It is not Google it. It's called the parole program. Believe me, I have a lot of friends, a lot of family that are in these countries. Remember, my mother's Cuban, okay? So I know about
fiancé
Cuba.
is in Venezuela.
My girlfriend's from Venezuela. So I know
And this
people that are
before we
using
even
this
talked to
program
Tony.
that it's there. So don't take my word for it, okay? He doesn't want to go ahead and believe me. He thinks I'm lying. I don't. The difference is I have the facts here. I'm not just saying what my TV told me or what Biden told me or what Kamala told me. I am verifying the numbers and the facts, and here's the numbers and the facts. This is not some clandestine website somewhere. This is the official.
I personally feel y'all, if y'all want to call in. If you want to put a comment, I personally feel like Biden and his administration dropped the ball on the border.
Okay.
But at the same time, before he came, you need to hear my full, as a political atheist, is that I don't feel it's a solution. I don't feel our presidents at this point can solve the problem, and it's beyond the presidents.
I agree.
And it shouldn't be a divide point for us as American citizens over this immigration thing. But I think that for whatever reason, Biden and them decided to do the wrong thing with the border. I think that they were wrong. I don't know where they're getting that shit from. And but I think Harris could do the right thing. I'm not sure if she's going to do anything. I know Trump can do the right thing when it comes to the border, but if it comes to the border, we're going to have to trust Trump when it comes to the border.
Oh, I disagree with that.
I don't.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No,
Let me continue on.
I absolutely disagree with that.
Let me continue on. Okay, again, I'm going to just let everybody know. Don't believe me.
Law
Verify.
enforcement, I'll trust Harris over.
Okay, so verify.
Because
USCIS.
Trump is tripping when it comes to law enforcement.
He is.
All right.
Okay,
Go
the
ahead.
USCIS website. If you need a visa, a passport, anything that you need, anything having to do with immigration, that's where you're going to go ahead and go. I just pulled this out here. The parole process had actually expired, and they just renewed it 7 days ago.
Damn.
Verify what I did is 7 days ago, they opened up the parole. Again, remember, I have lots of friends and people that live in Venezuela, in Caracas right now. Now, in addition to that, I do have a girlfriend who lives in Caracas, and she lives in the area of Caracas that they call the cementerio, or the cemetery. It's a really, really, really rough
Damn,
area
that's fucked up.
of Caracas. Now, she had been telling me for the last 8 months or so. She says, "Oh, Nadeem, you know what? It's the neighborhood. My neighborhood. It's not dangerous anymore. It's it's not dangerous anymore." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not dangerous?" Like, "Oh no, all the malandros. The malandros are the bad guys." And she says, "The bad guys aren't there anymore." And I'm like, "Well, where do they go?" And she says, "Well, I don't know. They're just not here now." All of a sudden, if you listen to Trump's rallies over the last couple of months, he starts talking about the crime rate that's gone down in Venezuela. So I have people on the ground in Caracas telling me that the crime is going down in Venezuela, and you have Trump saying the same thing. And then here, I pulled out the stats for you of Venezuela. You look at the numbers from 2020,
You should.
okay, all the way down, and the numbers are continuously
That's a
going
good
down.
ass point.
So my question to you is, where do you think these people are now?
They came here.
They came here.
That's why they're having
Did
that
you
problem
not
with the
see?
Venezuelans.
You know, you can go ahead and be an Austrian and put your head in the sand, but look at the news. Look what's happening in Aurora, Colorado. What happened? Laken Riley, she was killed. The other little young girl that was over there, 12 years old, she was raped and murdered. She was 12 or 13 years old.
That's to be blamed
Okay.
on the border problem.
And the guy had an ankle monitor from the Border Patrol.
Pablo Gab, peace.
Okay, it was there. So now, let me go on one other. If you go to your Apple Store or Google Play, look at the CBP One app.
CP1,
CBP One, just like this.
C-
CBP One. I'm going to leave this all here for you.
Okay, it's an
the
app.
CBP One app. You can put the
Okay.
app up on your phone. Okay, and what this is the concierge service. To go ahead and register to go ahead and come to go ahead and do all this stuff. So if you want to go ahead and get it, you can go to the app, register, get it.
What does it do?
It gives you basically the visa to be able to come over.
Oh, great.
So not only they're making it very easy for you, they give you a concierge service to make it easier
Well-
for you to go ahead and come over.
Aren't they letting murderers and killers come over here?
Okay, but they say, oh no, Biden and Kamala, they say that they're vetting. They're vetting all these people. They're checking them. Well, why did all these murders and all this stuff that's happened over here?
Impossible that
Now,
they're vetting all of them.
it could
They're
be
not
possible that they're vetting. The problem is, I know for a fact,
They're not vetting.
and you can go ahead and check
I
and
worked
see if
at
this
the,
is right. The
I worked
United
at the
States
consulate in
closed
Pretoria,
their
South
consulate in Venezuela, I believe it was in 2016. And Venezuela closed all their consulates, all their embassies
Yep.
in all the United States, and there is no communication between the two countries.
So why are these
how?
Venezuelans over here then?
Why? Because they're eating rats and dogs and all kinds of stuff, and they have that socialism that they want to go ahead and pass in the United States, and that's why that they're here.
You
Okay?
really believe that the Democrats want to do total socialism? Or leading us to it?
Yes. Anytime you get free stuff, nothing is free. Somebody's paying for it.
I don't
They
think
want-
they're getting anything free. They're getting their support.
Okay. Well, but these guys here, first of all, they're getting free rent. They're getting airfare. They're getting bus fare. They're taken to any city across the United States. That they wanna go ahead and
Another
go to.
slap in the face is, man. A huge slap in the face
Military
is
guys,
that, and I'm gonna say this from
veterans.
a poor person's perspective. My mom was born blind. I had to help take care of my little brother, yada yada yada. My mom just passed away a couple years ago. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I have a master's degree in public administrative law. I've shook Nelson Mandela's hand. I studied and taught in South Africa. I debated all throughout Africa, and I debated in Europe, World's Debate. I did all this stuff for myself. I had an album out. I had a single that was on Southern California through Nevada back in the 90s. I was a music artist. I did all this shit on my own, man. Only person that did anything for me was my blind mom, right? You got these people that can come over here. Nobody knows them from nowhere. They don't even know the history of the United States of America. They don't care. They have all the phobias and all the prejudices and all the problems and idiosyncrasies. They got bad criminal tendencies. And some of them are super good, great people. But the bad ones are getting treated better than me because my ancestors were slaves here.
Okay, can I say
The
something?
bad ones get treated better than black Americans. These people that come over here that are not black, they get treated better than black Americans. And I can't hide the fact that I don't think Trump or Harris want to fix that. At least Trump spoke about it, but Harris, I think she will help black women. I do. I believe she will help black children. And I'm not saying that she's going to do it on purpose, but I'm going to say Harris got too many women around her of color that she's not going to be able, that she'll be able to get away with not passing some stuff that will benefit poor women and children. I believe she will help them. But I believe neither of them care about these people coming over here abusing black people, period. Black Americans, not black people, but black Americans. Because you got Africans that come here that treat black Americans like shit. You got people that come from the Caribbean that half treat black Americans like shit. Not as bad as Africans do, but I would know because I had to live with them all my life. I had foster parents that were from Africa. You know what I'm saying? So I know the difference. I've seen it. And so I just want to say that I don't think that the presidency, either of them are going to do better for, ultimately, I don't think either of them are going to do better for my specific group that I was born to.
Okay. To say that Democrats are allowing people from South America into the United States to become a, what did he say, socialist state? Let me tell you something. First of all, for us to be a socialist state, we have we have three branches of government. We have judicial, we have the administrative state, we have the law, Supreme Court, our court system. In order for our system to be turned to communist or socialist, it would take a vote of the Congress, it would take a vote of the House, it would take a vote of states in order for that to happen. That's not ever going to happen here in America. To say that crime has gone down because the criminals have come over here, you can't prove that. You don't have any stats from Nicaragua or Venezuela. That's that MAGA hack crap that
I see what you mean on
you're
that
speaking.
point.
Because
What's happening in Colorado?
no, it's not.
That was blown out of proportion.
Don't say that.
I believe that was blown out of proportion.
Don't say that, because you don't have stats from Nicaragua. You don't have stats from Venezuela. Neither do you have stats here in America.
So do the ground level that those brothers from O Block in Chicago, right now they just had to sacrifice some of their own because some of the Nicaraguan gangs killed one of the brothers from O Block in Chicago, one of the youngsters. So some of the others had to sacrifice their freedom and kill a couple of the Nicaraguans. Now they're gonna be in prison for the rest of their life because this is fact. It happened in Chicago.
I'm not saying that there's not a problem. I'm not saying that there's not a problem. That's not
one of my question is you're saying that, and I agree that it was blown out of proportion. The thing in Colorado, it was blown out of proportion, but it wasn't like they blew it out of proportion. I admit it, but just because stats might be saying something and blowing it out of proportion to me don't mean the problem ain't there. Because listen, man, these fucking cartels and these people coming here, they're targeting young black Americans like your son and me.
I'm not saying that
you know that, right?
Problem. I'm not saying that there's not a problem. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, he's saying that there is a conspiracy by the Democratic Party to turn the United States into a socialist
I'm talking
government.
immigration. Everything else, whatever.
Okay, immigration. Okay, fine. Immigration. There is a plan by the Democratic Party through immigration to turn people socialists. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's has to go, and you did a wonderful job, fellow statesman.
Let me just say a little quick statement in closing. Okay, so in closing, I'm just gonna say to think for yourself. Leave your emotions out of your decision for this and who to vote. Look at the actual. What the hell is that? Look at the actual policies. Okay, research it. Look at it. Look at what I sent you. Look at the UCIS website. Look at the actual facts. Look at that immigration bill. Look and see if it doesn't cap it at a certain number. Okay, and there's not 5,000 coming in. Where are these people coming in? Where are these people in New York staying at these hotels and stuff like that? Look at it. Do your own research. Okay, but just don't believe what somebody's telling you. Don't believe MAGA.
They're being
don't
processed.
Believe my turn. Do you understand what my turn means?
I don't think those people are just being processed. Those
no, a
people
lot
are
of
being,
us are
they
being
busting them where they need to go. They giving
look
them too
at
much, man.
Trust me, man.
Process for what?
I already did my research
Process
on it.
for what?
They're being researched. They're being processed to become American citizens.
Why should they become American citizens?
They have to do a background check on everybody that has.
How do you do that?
Hold on, they have to do a
I don't
background
think they should be
check.
here.
They have to do a background check on
I don't
everybody
think
that wants to
I
be
agree
a
on
citizen.
certain things with you. I agree on certain things with you. I disagree.
So
on
don't
certain
say they
things
let
with you.
them
I
in,
disagree.
because they're
But
kicking more out.
like that one right there,
more out.
they shouldn't even be here. Because they need to, I don't care whether they're Republican or Democrat.
First.
We need to take care of our young people.
Take care of your house first.
We need to take care of the young people.
Then you can help somebody else out. But you don't help somebody else out before you don't take care of your family.
House.
No,
there's
nothing wrong.
There's
sleeping
nothing
on
wrong
the
with our
street.
house.
Not just veterans, young people, young educated people that are not criminals.
There's something wrong with our country. Our country is already
Absolutely.
great. Already great.
Sure, exactly.
Already great. The servicemen are great.
So what I want to do, everybody, is to know this is not bad. The hostilities, the venting, the expression, the share of information, the agreeing to disagree, the conflict management and mediation. This is actually how it goes. If you believe that the founding fathers sat there agreeing on everything of this country, you're sick in your head. They had sword fights. They had shootouts with each other. This is how it goes. That's just the way human beings work. And this is the way our reality is. It's a polarizing reality. But that doesn't mean these two men cannot shake hands and respect each other, because they both contribute nothing but positivity to our country. And I want to give them props and show some appreciation to Wade and Nadeem. These are statesmen. And I want you guys to know that that's what I did this for. is to show that although we are different and although as humans we have tendencies and our polarizing reality could cause differences and conflicts, still we respect one another and we still grow together. And we will fix this world according to step-by-step process. So my friend Nadeem Mustafa is leaving now. We thank you all for tuning in. And so Wade's gonna be leaving, and I'm gonna close out with you guys all in a minute. Thanks.
61 more days.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We had a great. I don't think it was too hostile, did you? Hey, what's up, Manda Chromatic? Peace, bless. Mando Chromatic, you got here late, man. You missed all the hostile debate. We had a pretty hostile debate, but it was very informative. Very informative. It wasn't all over the place. They actually was pretty getting their messages out pretty clean. I haven't seen you in a while. Mando Chromatic. I got to get you to hook me up with one of them tattoos. You know what I'm saying? This bro, if you need a tattoo, this guy is a genius international tattoo artist. I mean, he's been all over this planet putting the ink down. So Mando Chromatic right here on my Instagram comment section. Thank you for coming in. We just had a great, and I would love you to come in and talk about your stories about being all your adventures. You've traveled so much, Mando. I would like you to come in. Pablo, Gad, you know what I'm saying? Kamani. We got Lita Loves, Joshua just dropped into place. We got to give love to Lita Loves, Joshua. She just came in. Everybody show love to her. What's up, Lita? Peace, bless. Yeah, I'm going to be seeing if any of y'all would like to come on. I can send you the link. I'm here in Southern California, so you know you could be anywhere in the world and can't come in physically, but I can send you the link and link you in, and we could talk about whatever you want to talk about. Today we were talking about the elections, as the title said. We had a debate. It was a Republican and Democratic representative. The Republican representative is still here. Nadeem Mustafa, and they brought research. They brought knowledge. They debated. They agreed and disagreed. It was good. So hopefully next time you guys can check it out. And then go on my YouTube, David Dimitri Live in Color, on David Dimitri Live in Color, or my other YouTube, OWU, the Original World Union, and you can see the playback for the full debate. You can put you together a talk or a debate and just DM me, you know, or subscribe to my YouTubes and message me, and go to my David Dimitri Live in Color, David Dimitri website. I'm gonna put that right here in the chat, daviddimitri.com, and you can get all my contacts. Contact me if you want to come and promote your business, promote your ministries, promote your art, promote your feelings about anything political if you're an activist, and definitely promote your spiritual devotion. You are loved here. David Dimitri Live in Color. Benevolence, love every time. I got a Rotakala 29. It's love every time. One Ill Roots. It's love every time. Benevolence. Alley Cat. It's love every time. Official Ifa Taya Osum Ferrani. It's love every time. Benevolence. Alafia, brother. Alafia. Yeah. I'm Hello, my Jesus. Oh, yeah. Praise the Lord. Praise Jesus. Praise the Christians around that in the house. The Muslims are in the house. The Jewish people are in the house. Black Hebrews are in the house. Kemetic is in the house. Ifa is in the house. Olo Dumare. Ashe. Yes. Michael Malik, 1111. Oh, yeah. You in the house. Simo Fanan. 40. You in the house. Y'all got to come on, represent. I'm gonna interview y'all next. I'm gonna get y'all to come on. All right. You got to talk about what you want to talk about and what's important to you, because you are important. We're all rebuking and rejecting the imposter syndrome over here. You all have value. You're all big. You're all great, and you all have a lot, and you're important. So let your light shine. That's what this platform is for. Timelines, now algorithms is in the house. Got to get you to come on. Wigamba 001. You are in the house. Runs the place. Let's do it. It's love every time. I'm chiming out. Remember, go to David Dimitri Live in Color, YouTube.com. David Dimitri Live in Color. That's where you can see the full video replay. Or on OWU, Original World Union, YouTube.com to see the replay of this. It's love every time. Peace, benevolence. Oh, yeah. DavidDimitri.com for my book, Outline to Empower, and for the film, Outline, full feature film that I produce. Benevolence.